The following is a product of Studio 42.
Bounds up the middle. He's got a big seam. He's got a first down and more. Look out. 20, 15, 10. Kiss him goodbye. 56 yards for Knox Bounds on 3rd and 10.
From Studio 42, this is Howe Bulldogs football.
Deep down the field to the right side, looking for Strong. Goes up, comes down with it at the 48. He's off to the races.
Howe Bulldogs football is brought to you by Scoggins Funeral Home, Baker Air Conditioning and Heating, South State Bank, GC Easy, Sonic of Howe.
Intercepted. Eli Stoner down the sideline.
Also brought to you by Brother Plumber, Rock Hill Investments, MTE Fence, Centurion American, Ed Meacham State Farm, Rapid Electric.
No, Bender's going to pull it out of his gut. He's got a lot of room, and he's got a touchdown. Stick that one in the end zone. It's touchdown time in Texas.
Put his foot in the ground, went to the right side, and there was nobody in the stadium going to catch him.
Also brought to you by All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights, TechWave, First Baptist Church of Howe, Kingdom Inflatables, Acres Boat and RV Storage, The Love Cottage.
Knox leaps and bounds into the end zone for a 20-yarder.
It's really the line. When you have 4 cut blocks that leave 4 linemen on the ground, I mean, that's easy work. That's a 75-yarder all day long.
Also brought to you by Howe Athletic Booster Club, Michelle Carney Photography, Texoma Land and Home Team, the Crazy AC Guy.
And with that, Justin White, it is football time in Texas 2025 style.
Now let's open the Rapid Electric tailgate party and join the voice of the Howe Bulldogs, Lonnie Walker.
It may be Thursday night lights, but there will be no light show, at least from Callisburg's Scattaboo quarterback. It'll be ground and pound from the Wildcats. The lights could flash at times with Howe's electric speedsters of Reich and Cross, Ryland Strong, and Knox Bounds. But it's simple as this. Howe has to win the next 2 to clinch the first playoff berth in 3 years. Both teams' backs are squarely against the wall. For the Bulldogs, this is essentially a playoff game. It's Howe versus Callisburg, and it's football time in Texas.
You're listening to the Rapid Electric tailgate party.
Here's some things to never mess with if you're not a trained professional. Caging a bulldog. Removing copperheads. And electricity. Don't get shocked. Call Rapid Electric. Rapid Electric is here for all your electrical needs. Just like you wouldn't try to become a pro boxer or president.
Give me a break.
You need a pro to keep your electricity humming. Don't get shocked. Rapid Electric serves the Grayson County area. Call them at 903-421-8100.
If your home or business could talk, what would it say? It may say it would like some privacy or security. Enjoy the beauty and durability of quality fencing from MTE Fence. MTE Fence is a local company specializing in commercial and residential fencing. MTE Fence ranges from wood, aluminum, and chain link fencing. MTE Fence services all of Grayson County and surrounding areas. Go to mtefence.com or call 903-686-9039 for an estimate. MTE Fence has a passion for connection. We are your connection for quality.
All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights is proud to sponsor the Pride of Howe High School's Bandsman of the Week. Your hometown Bulldog alumni owned and operated business is here for all your seamless gutter and outdoor Christmas lights needs. Give them a call at 903-819-9183 and let them make your house shine really bright this Christmas. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights. Give them a call at 903-819-9183. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights.
This is Bulldogs head coach Jake Smith, and it didn't take me long to get to know where Sonic of Howe is. After practice or games, I like to head down to 105 North Collins Freeway, grab a burger, tots, and a shake. As a matter of fact, I like to say, it's Sonic time in Texas.
Yeah, Coach, that's kind of my thing.
Oh, okay. How about Sonic really brings the hammer down?
Coach, that's kind of my thing.
With Sonic, I'm highly motivated, truly dedicated.
Yeah, Coach, that's another one of my lines.
How about this? It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Yeah, I like that.
Hey, Steve here, the Crazy AC Guy. We raise top-notch AC units and train the finest service techs west of the Mississippi. And we got a truly crazy deal for you. Get a free furnace with the purchase of a qualified AC condenser coil package. You'd have to be crazy like me to miss this deal. So for all your AC and electrical needs, call us at 903-465-2665 or visit us at crazyacguy.com.
The Crazy AC Guy, where crazy meets quality.
listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party. Let's join Monty Walker with the MTE Fence Senior Spotlight.
You got a brand new head coach with a new direction. What kind of changes has he made so far?
I feel like our mentality has changed. We're 1-0 every rep, trying to win every rep.
I definitely feel like the coaching staff works better together, helps lead the players to the right direction. I feel like everybody is putting more effort in and wanting to win.
They've really turned it around, and they've installed a new mindset really in this entire team. It's not like past years where you can get away with cutting corners. This time it's really different, and we're a lot more disciplined than past years, and I think it's going to be really different in my opinion.
Well, Coach Smith's really intelligent about really anything in football. He really knows what he's talking about, and he has a lot of experience. Yeah, that's the word, experience. He has a lot of experience, and he really talks a lot about making us better people and improving us as humans.
He's really motivated us to, win, to do the right thing, just be a better program in general. This one's totally different. It's a completely new program. It's just a different attitude. It's way better, just having a new coach, new staff, new direction, really. It's great.
I think his staff is a great thing for Howe. It's definitely something we've been needing for a long time, and I think we've been slowly heading in the direction. But with Coach Smith and his crew, I just feel like it's just a really good thing, and we're going in the right way, and we'll be in playoffs here, hopefully this year and the years to come.
I think it's definitely better. He's bringing a lot. He wants us to win. We're always talking about being 1-0 every rep, so we're not always worried about the next game.
Since he's gotten here, yes, because of everything that's been happening, he's taken a leadership role and just calming things down the best he can.
If your home or business could talk, what would it say? It may say it would like some privacy or security. Enjoy the beauty and durability of quality fencing from MTE Fence. MTE Fence is a local company specializing in commercial and residential fencing. MTE Fence ranges from wood, aluminum, and chain link fencing. MTE Fence services all of Grayson County and surrounding areas. Go to mtefence.com or call 903-686-9039 for an estimate. MTE Fence has a passion for connection. We are your connection for quality.
So senior year, what's the expectations for this team?
I go game by game, but I hope to make playoffs, maybe even win one or two.
Make it to playoffs, for sure. 100% effort, dedication, and being there every single day to work.
I expect us to really be competitors in this district. I really do think that. I'm not just saying that to say that. I really think we will be competitors in this district as long as we work hard and we go into the mindset every game of this is not just going to get handed to us. We have to work for this.
I expect us to go to playoffs. We're working every day, and it might not seem like it, but Coach Smith and his crew is really the best coaching staff.
We really think we could do something this year. Past years we've been a little scared, but this year we're totally ready to go out there during district play, get some wins, hopefully make playoffs. Who knows? We're ready.
I think the expectations are to rebuild and propel the program into what it needs to be.
Obviously it's to win. Hopefully we go a few rounds, win the first round, maybe go deep.
I just try to lead by example, just keep showing the guys how to keep going, just keep pushing through adversity.
Tonight's Senior Spotlight has been brought to you by MTE Fence. You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party.
Here's some things to never mess with if you're not a trained professional. Caging a bulldog. Removing copperheads. And electricity. Don't get shocked. Call Rapid Electric. Rapid Electric is here for all your electrical needs. Just like you wouldn't try to become a pro boxer or president.
Give me a break.
You need a pro to keep your electricity humming. Don't get shocked. Rapid Electric serves the Grayson County area. Call them at 903-421-8100. Who's your local plumber? Brother Plumber. It's good to know someone local and someone you can trust when your home or office drops the ball.
Main line break, 15 yards.
Brother Plumber is plumb professional and serves not only Howe, but also all of Grayson County. And you can save yourself 10% if you mention Go Bulldogs. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. We'd love to help. Brother Plumber is one call away at 469-968-4487. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. Remember, Go Bulldogs. At Grayson Cullen Electric Cooperative, GCEC, we have been around for over 80 years and are governed by 7 principles: open and voluntary membership, democratic member control, members' economic participation, autonomy and independence, education, training, and information, cooperation among cooperatives, and concern for community. One of our communities is Howe, Texas, and GCEC is proud to support the Howe Bulldogs. No one wants to talk about losing a loved one. The grief that is put on your family is troublesome. Scoggins Funeral Home strives to make that most difficult time the easiest. We want your loved one to be sent off in the best way possible, with your wishes at heart. Call us at 903-482-5225 or visit our website at scogginsfuneralhome.com. 903-482-5225. Our location on Van Alstyne Parkway makes everything close for your needs. 903-482-5225. Scoggins Funeral Home.
Hey, Steve here, the crazy AC guy. We raise top-notch AC units and train the finest service techs west of the Mississippi. And we got a truly crazy deal for you. Get a free furnace with the purchase of a qualified AC condenser coil package. You'd have to be crazy like me to miss this deal. So for all your AC and electrical needs, call us at 903-465-2665 or visit us at crazyacguy.com.
The Crazy AC Guy, where crazy meets quality.
You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party. Let's join Monty Walker with the Rock Hill Investments Coach's Corner with Bulldogs head coach Jake Smith.
Coach, facing the number 1 team always brings challenges. They played quick and fast, but the way your team never once backed down from a challenge, I thought was impressive to see.
Yeah, obviously it wasn't the results that we wanted, but it was, even though that there was a running clock and they had some starters in and some young kids that they got to rely on, like in deep playoff runs. It was good to see our kids still line up and play hard and play fast. You just wish that we could have lined up better and played a little bit better in the first half, made it a little bit more interesting. But for the kids to come out, I can't even tell you what the score was after halftime, but for them to come out and still play, it was what kind of like what we challenged them to do, really kind of see their character and see if you really truly loved your teammates. And we're still trying to find those 11. So it was good to see them answer that call.
Do you think you have the most dangerous kick return pair in the region?
We definitely got to have probably, if not the best. We've got to be pretty close to the top, though. The first one that kind of broke it loose was Knox Bounds against Bonham, I believe. So I think everyone kind of forgets about him because he's not the most electric one. But between Riken and Ryland, they're pretty electric when they had the ball in their hands, and it was good to see that unit. And it really does. It takes. There's 2 guys that we're not blocking. We're not going to block the safety, and we're not going to block the furthest guy away from the ball side. So we have to do a good job of blocking 9, and we've got a good group that takes pride in it. And at once, like it used to be kind of like a joke, but once we finally broke it loose, kids take pride in taking one back every week. So it's a pretty fun group to watch, honestly, because they get after it and take pride in that unit.
It appears you've lost your right guard, Large Marge, for maybe the rest of the regular season. Who has to step up in his place?
Yeah, it's going to be kind of musical chairs until we can find one. It was kind of similar situation than what we had early in the year after the Boyd game. We found Gavin Snap. Now we got to go back to Bryce Baker, Sean Stanley, and I call him Bam Bam, Jameer Brown. He's going to have to be able to get in there and help us out also until we can find one. But also, good news, not to commit a HIPAA violation or anything. Good news is so far there wasn't a fracture found. It's just a sprained ankle. So he's going to have to get his butt in there and get some treatment and get better and get ready, because our goal all year long has been to make the playoffs. And so that's what we plan on doing. And, win out, give yourself a chance. And, if Will doesn't come back, then hopefully by that time, especially after the bye week, we found somebody that can shore up that right guard spot.
Let's talk about that cat and mouse game that took place at the end of the game. 4 consecutive kickoffs. You made them re-kick it each time. It eventually ran out the clock on a Ryken cross touchdown.
Well, I didn't do it really early on in the game just because I knew what they were doing. And sometimes when he kicked it out on like the 40 or the 42, I was going to take that instead of at the 30 because it's better field position. So I knew all week long what they were doing. And typically what I do, my philosophy is to make them re-kick it because we only have to drop 3 lines, which is 15 yards, but they got to run 40 to 50 yards, and especially some of the starters that they have on there. I like making them re-kick because it's another 40 or 50 yard sprint that they got to do, but we don't have to do, and then they got to turn around and play defense. So it's kind of been my philosophy ever since I really started taking over special teams. But I knew we had to run a clock, and thankfully that line judge on our side, I forget his name, but he was a good dude. And I said, hey, man, we got to get a live rep at this, and so do they. Eventually they're going to have to get a live rep instead of just kick it out of bounds. And so I kept on yelling across the field at my friend Jeff Egger, who actually his wife Becca Egger graduated from Howe, so that's the full circle of this story. And I just yelled, I said, come on, Jeff, you need a live rep, we do too. And he said, do you promise to take a knee instead of taking it to the house? And I said, I can't promise, and I don't know what the kids are going to do. I said, but hey, if we don't score, we'll take a knee on offense. And he said, all right, we'll kick it deep then. And we took it to the house. So there might have been a blocking in the back, but I say that's just good effort by Ryland, because it was actually Ryland that was blocking a kid into the head football coach, Jordan Gill, over there, and they were pretty fired up about it. But with the new rule, you don't do a 2-point or an extra point kick after time has expired. So as soon as we took it to the house, I just started jogging my happy butt over to the sidelines, and Coach Gill shook my hand, and he's like, I got to give you that. You got one on us. And so it just makes for a funny story, and the kids were pretty excited about it. And it's just another example that us coaches have to prove to the kids that, everything we do is for them. It's not about me, and it's not about us. It's for the kids. And so hopefully they see that, us coaches are, fighting tooth and nail for them, and we kind of take that and roll with it.
You're listening to the Rock Hill Investments Coach's Corner with Howe head coach Jake Smith. We'll be right back. Tonight's Bulldogs football is brought to you by Noble Ridge, right here in Howe, just off Highway 75 at Summit Hill Parkway and walking distance to Summit Hill Elementary. Noble Ridge is our hometown's newest master plan community, featuring new homes from the nation's top builders, plus trails, parks, and family-friendly amenities. Developed by Rock Hill Capital Investments, a trusted North Texas developer with thriving communities in Salina, Sherman, and across the region. Noble Ridge is proud to call Howe home. Learn more at nobleridgetx.com. That's nobleridgetx.com. You're listening to the Rock Hill Investments Coach's Corner with Howe head coach Jake Smith. Is there a senior on this roster that you'll always point to and say, that was a kid when we were trying to establish DAT, and that kid was right there to start?
Dylan Patterson. No doubt. I know that there's 6 other people that are going to be offended when they hear this, if they do listen to this, and especially their moms and dads. But it's Dylan Patterson. There's no doubt. Sometimes he's too Boy Scout for me. But we put him in situations where he has to hurt another teammate's feelings. He's a kid that shows up every single day. He works really hard. He is a really tough kid. Early on in the season, before we were giving him spells, he was averaging 120 snaps a game, where everyone else was only averaging between like 75 and 80. And, you look at a kid that plays offensive line and defensive line and how taxing and tolling that can be on his body. It wasn't fair for that kid to play that many more snaps than a Ryken or a Ryland or a Buttery or even a Deacon Bender or a Knox bounds. And, you get to point that out. I mean, that's the definition of discipline and toughness. He's a really tough kid. He shows up. He tries to perfect his craft. And, not one time did he ever complain because he wants to play the whole time and he wants his team to win. And he'll actually turn around and tell a teammate that he's disappointed in him whenever he really is disappointed in him. And so there's no doubt, years to come, we'll be able to talk about Dylan Patterson and how he laid the foundation for the Howe Bulldogs.
You have Callisburg and Blue Ridge left on the schedule. What's the scenario? Do you need any help to get into the playoffs?
As far as I know, we don't need any help. It's, win out and you make the playoffs. So that's really kind of goes against what we believe, just because we gotta go win a Monday and a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and so on and so forth, and be process oriented. But we also have to win the bye week. I know that sounds really silly, but we got to take care of our bodies. We got to be smart about what we do, especially, you win the Callisburg game and, you got to beat Blue Ridge. You probably have a different approach than what you normally do. You're going to take that extra week to prepare for Blue Ridge and prepare for everything and get ready for the playoffs.
These next two games are huge for your program. Bulldog Stadium really needs to be packed. How much of a factor can a big crowd make?
Yeah, I think it plays a huge factor, especially when we're on defense. Offense possesses the ball and they get some first downs. We can finally flip the field and not have to defend a short field, especially, if you have to have an overtime game, depending on where you're, whether you're going to be on the north end zone or the south end zone. I think having a huge crowd plays a huge role in how the kids play. It's not going to change how we coach, but, that extra type of energy. I'm by no means not an Aggie fan at all, but that 12th man truly does play a huge factor in games and how kids play. And plus, we tell the kids all the time that it's our job to entertain the community members and play for the community, because they're the ones that, they produce you, but they're also the ones that pay taxes, that provide the turf, the track, the stadium, the uniforms and the equipment, all that stuff. So you owe it to your community to play as hard as you can, because that's what they deserve. So I think if we can get this thing packed like we did past couple times this year, it'll play a huge role.
Callisburg has shown all kinds of formations on offense. Slot T, wing T, I formation, two wides. How do you prepare for all that?
Well, you got to be as simple as possible so our kids don't have to think. I think that was probably part of the problem is our game plan last week. Coming from my mind, I thought it was pretty simple, but the children in the back end were struggling to make the checks, and so I had to call every check last Friday night against Gunner just so that we could get lined up correctly. And, so we took that into effect this weekend when we're coming up with Callisburg game plan, because they do line up in a lot of stuff. But what we did, like on my whiteboard, we broke it up to where, like, what are their favorite formations and their favorite football plays that we have to take away. There's only so many different ways you can line up 2x1, 2x2, and 3x1. And so when we draw a line, we just have to make sure that if they've got 7 on the right, then we have to have 7 on the right. If they got 5.5 on the left, then we got to have 5.5 on the left. And so we simplified it so our kids can just line up left and right. They don't have to worry about checking sides or anything. So we're going to line up and play as fast as possible. I tell the kids all the time that if we take the thinking out of it, clear mind equals fast feet. And so that's the goal for the week.
The Coach's Corner has been brought to you by Black Hill Investments. You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party.
Here's some things to never mess with if you're not a trained professional. Caging a bulldog. Removing copperheads. And electricity. Don't get shocked. Call Rapid Electric. Rapid Electric is here for all your electrical needs. Just like you wouldn't try to become a pro boxer or president.
Give me a break.
You need a pro to keep your electricity humming. Don't get shocked. Rapid Electric serves the Grayson County area. Call them at 903-421-8100.
This is more than a bundle. This is way more than a combo deal. It's your sanctuary, your home field. It's where everything happens. This is your home, your car, your memories. And you want to be sure they're protected with home and auto insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. That's why I'm here to help life go right. My name is Ed Meacham, and I'm your Howe State Farm agent. Give me a call at 903-892-3923 or on the web at MrRedInsurance.com.
Anchors with a Z Boat and RV Storage is located 1 mile off of U.S. Highway 75 in Howe, Texas. Anchors Boat and RV Storage is proud to bring personal, small-town customer service to the growing area of North Texas. With both open and covered parking available, locally owned and operated, members of the Howe Area Chamber of Commerce and the Texas Self-Storage Association. Anchors Boat and RV Storage has 20 amp power available and is manager occupied at 311 Old Highway 6 in Howe. Visit anchorsboatrvstorage.com or call 903-444-2500.
From tailgate to touchdown, South State is here to ensure your financial game plan leads you to victory. With cutting-edge digital tools like contactless payment, digital wallet, and more, your financial plays become seamless and convenient. As your trusted banking partner, South State is committed to supporting you every step of the way, providing expert guidance and dedicated assistance on your financial journey. This is Banking Forward. South State Bank. Member FDIC.
Hey, Steve here, the crazy AC guy. We raise top-notch AC units and train the finest service techs west of the Mississippi. And we got a truly crazy deal for you. Get 0% financing for 60 months for any qualified air conditioning and heating system. You'd have to be crazy like me to miss this deal. So for all your AC and electrical needs, call us at 903-465-2665 or visit us at crazyacguy.com.
The Crazy AC Guy, where crazy meets quality.
You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party. Today's Howe Bulldogs Flux Capacitor is brought to you by the Crazy AC Guy. Now let's join Monty Walker with a time travel through Bulldogs history.
The Howe Bulldogs are 5-4 in games played on October the 23rd. The first game took place in 1964 as Prosper shut out Howe 28-0. But 6 years later on the same date, Howe shut out Prosper 20-8 as quarterback Rick Haining hit Jerry Dukes for 2 touchdowns. In 1981 on this date, Howe defeated Lindsay 46-20 as freshman running back Randy Gear scored his first touchdown. In 1987, Howe shut out S&S 42-0 as Rob Bowes raced 65 yards to highlight the win. In 1992 on this date, Howe was shut out by Aubrey 31-0, but beat Bells on October the 23rd, 1998, 21-0, with Nino Falls scoring 3 touchdowns. In 2009, Howe lost at Honey Grove 34-20, and in 2015 shut out S&S 28-0. The last game played on this date was in 2020 when Mineola romped Howe 70-7 and rushed for 522 yards at Bulldog Stadium. The Howe and Callisburg series dates back to 1967 with the Wildcats winning the initial game 16-8. Overall, Howe is 10-6 versus Callisburg, but have lost 3 in a row dating back to opening night 2020. Howe's last win at home against Callisburg took place in the final game of the 2017 season in Zach Hudson's last game as head coach. The most points Howe has scored against Callisburg is 50 in 1991, and the Wildcats' largest surge was 54 in last year's 54-14 game.
Today's Howe Bulldogs Flux Capacitor is brought to you by the Crazy AC Guy. You're listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party.
Buying and or selling your next home or property should be an enjoyable experience. At Texoma Land and Home Team, our commitment to the personal relationship of each transaction ensures communication you expect, while assuring that we'll be here the next time you need us. We're not a big box real estate company by design. This freedom allows us to be fully at your service. Texoma Land and Home Team, Renee Nichols Broker, 903-818-1645. Texoma Land and Home Team, for all your real estate needs, 903-818-1645.
What's up, guys? It's Ridley Carter. I'm a senior cross country and long distance track runner.
This is Riley McCollum, senior basketball player and leading strikeout softball pitcher.
I'm Dylan Patterson, graduating football player and powerlifter.
I'm Ayla Jones, class of 2026 volleyball player.
We would like to thank the Howe Athletic Booster Club for the support of Howe student athletes and encourage anyone interested in helping to join. Go Dogs!
From tailgate to touchdown, South State is here to ensure your financial game plan leads you to victory. With cutting-edge digital tools like contactless payment, digital wallet, and more, your financial plays become seamless and convenient. As your trusted banking partner, South State is committed to supporting you every step of the way, providing expert guidance and dedicated assistance on your financial journey. This is Banking Forward, South State Bank, member FDIC.
It's that time of year again where our beloved radio guy won't shut his trap about how hot it is up here in the press box. Thankfully, the good people at Baker Air Conditioning and Heating cool this thing down in no time.
Roger, we're dying over here.
Speaking of hot air, there he is. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been serving the community of Howe for nearly 60 years. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating is located on Highway 5, and you can call them at 903-532-6255.
Roger!
Here's some things to never mess with if you're not a trained professional. Caging a bulldog. Removing copperheads. And electricity. Don't get shocked. Call Rapid Electric. Rapid Electric is here for all your electrical needs. Just like you wouldn't try to become a pro boxer or president.
Give me a break.
You need a pro to keep your electricity humming. Don't get shocked. Rapid Electric serves the Grayson County area. Call them at 903-421-8100.
From Studio 42, this is Howe Bulldogs football. You've been listening to the Rapid Electric Tailgate Party. Football time in Texas is just moments away. Now, with a call of the game, here's the voice of the Howe Bulldogs, Monty Walker.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bulldog Stadium. It is senior night as all of the pageantry happens right in front of us. Not a very big crowd. I know it's a Thursday night, and it's an early kick tonight, Justin White, but this is a big game, and you would hope for a big crowd.
You would hope so, and I'm sure word on the street is you gotta win these next two to get in the tournament. And not a big crowd, but hopefully people are still getting off work and going to be coming in here later. I guess still got festivities for senior night. But yeah, big game tonight. If you want to have any chance to play in here past a couple of weeks from now.
And if you're listening at home right now or listening on the road or wherever you might be in the universe, if you're near Bulldog Stadium, it'd be worth the ticket because I think we're going to have a pretty good game tonight. Two teams with their backs against the wall. The Howe Bulldogs, as you mentioned, have to win both games to get in the playoffs. Tonight, I would expect a really hard-fought football game in Howe, Texas tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be a dogfight, pun intended. And I know Coach Smith has got to have these guys ready, and I don't think they need reminding what's at stake here this evening.
His high school activities include
football, as the seniors are making their way out, let's go over the starting lineups. I'll start with the Howe Bulldogs on offense. Getting a little bit of noise. Hang on one second. Let's see. Starting lineups brought to you by the First Baptist Church of Howe. On offense, up front, Dylan Patterson, the senior, Gavin Snap, the sophomore, Aiden Torres, the senior, and I'm gonna assume since Large Marge is out, Will Ingram is out with that sprained ankle, no fractures, it's sprained, and taking his place tonight, I believe, will be Sean Stanley, the sophomore. And the right tackle is junior Jacob Griffo. The wideout on the far side typically depends on, I guess, which way they're going. But on the left side of the offense, no Braxton Buttery for sure. He's on concussion protocol from last week's big hit that he took, and he took one the week prior, as a matter of fact. And so I think we'll see Nathan Garibay quite a bit tonight, the junior, at the wideout. The split end on the other side is junior Rylan Strong, and the tight end is Van Derrick, and you'll also see Alex Mejia at times, the mad Honduran. In the backfield, Knox Bounds, and the slot receiver is Ryken Cross. Now, I think you'll see Cross and Strong each maybe carry the football at times tonight. And that is your, and Deacon Bender. How can we forget Deacon Bender, the sophomore quarterback? He's had a really good year, especially as a sophomore. I think he's come along very nicely. And the head coach for the Howe Bulldogs, Jake Smith, 2-6. The offensive coordinator is Jordan Barnes. That's your First Baptist Church of Howe starting offense for the Bulldogs.
All right, let's go over to Callisburg
Next, we want to take
defense.
the opportunity to present
At defensive tackle is a senior, 5'11",
Football
220
Sweetheart
pounds,
and Mr. Touchdown
Michael Wright.
Awards.
The nose tackle is Gustavo Perez. He's a senior. Another senior is a senior defensive
The
line.
cheerleaders have selected
Keegan Lindsey,
for
he's a defensive tackle.
Mr. Touchdown,
At linebackers,
Mr.
outside
Dylan
linebacker,
Patterson.
Michael Christian, he's a sophomore. Other outside linebacker is Gabriel Zinski, he's a senior. Another senior is Tegan Barnett at linebacker. They got two guys named Tegan on this defense. And another middle linebacker is Braddock McKnight.
senior cheerleader.
He's a sophomore. In the secondary is
Acevedo.
Wyatt Schaefer. He's a senior. Another cornerback is Zayden Deering. He's a senior. Another senior, Michael Hammer at the weak side safety. And then strong safety is Landon Brasher. He is a sophomore. So you got 1, 2, 3 sophomores and 8 seniors on this defensive squad for Callisburg.
Next up,
Your
we have
starting
band
defense
students.
for Howe will be up
First,
front, Jacob
Lauren
Griffo, the
Ketching.
junior, but you'll also see a lot of Brevin Mayo.
Lauren is the daughter
Dylan
of Clint
Patterson
and Paula Ketching. She has been heavily
And
involved
Jameer
in
Brown,
FFA throughout high
the
school,
interior
serving
defensive
as
lineman.
secretary,
Alex Mejia,
U.S. president
the Matt
for 2 years.
Honduran, is the
She's
defensive
been
end on the
involved
left
with
side.
student council
Your
for 4
linebackers
years,
tonight, Chris
both as
Torres,
the
Charles
treasurer
Furr, and Knox
currently vice
Bounds.
president. She's
Your
the president
secondary
of
is
NHS
Ryken Cross,
and the
Eli
2026
Stoner,
senior class. And she
Garrett
has also
Rogers, and
served the
Ryland
Pride of Howe
Strong.
as
You'll
drum
also
major
see Deacon
for
Bender
3
at
years.
times on
Lauren's future plans are
defense,
to attend
and
Texas
also
Tech
Caden
University
Thomas
and
at
major in animal
times
science,
on
with
defense.
aspirations
Jake Smith
of
takes over
becoming a
defensive
livestock
coordinator
nutritionist
responsibilities.
with the ultimate goal of
And
being
Howe
able
has
to
5 seniors,
continue
5
the
juniors,
ranching
and 1
heritage
sophomore
of her
starting
family with a family
on the
of her
defensive
own.
side of the football.
Lauren Ketching.
All right, let's go to the offensive side of the ball for Callisburg. And they come in with a record of 3-4 on the season.
Brian
overall, 1 and
Shane.
2 in district. At left
Brian
tackle
being
is
escorted
Michael
by his
Wright,
mom, Tiffany Tisdale,
senior.
and Josh Tisdale.
Left guard is Gustavo Perez.
While in high school, Brian has been
He's a
involved
senior.
in basketball
Sophomore is Justin
for
Laney.
2 years and band for 4 years.
At center is Justin Laney. He's a sophomore.
His future
At right
plans,
guard is Neil Brown,
and I
another senior.
quote, are
And then right
get
tackle
a
is
good
Tegan
paying
Lindsey.
job and
He's
become
a senior.
fat
So
and
4
happy.
seniors, 1 sophomore on that
Brian
offensive
Shane.
line. At the X receiver is Sam Wilson. He's a senior.
Kinsey Ashton
Slot back is
Foster.
Gabe Zinski, senior.
Kinsey is being escorted by her
At fullback
parents,
is Tegan
Eric
Barnett.
and
He's a
Sheila
senior.
Foster, her
And then Braddock
sister,
McKnight
Kate Foster,
at running back. He's a sophomore. And over at the
and
wide receiver
her sister-in-law,
is Michael Hammer.
Holly
He's a senior. A lot of seniors on this team. And then leading
In high school,
the Wildcats on offensive and quarterback, unusual number. We starting quarterback number
Her
44.
future plans are to attend
Senior
Grayson
Bowen
College
McAdams.
to pursue the major of culinary arts.
That's your starting
and minor
lineup
in business.
for the
She also
Callisburg
plans to get her top
offensive
tattoo
offensive lineup
artist
for the
license.
Callisburg Wildcats.
Ashton
So
Foster.
Bowen McAdams, the quarterback, as you mentioned,
Faraday Gonzalez.
number 44, which is
Faraday
odd.
being escorted by her
He used to
father,
be
David
a Howe
Gonzalez,
kid.
mom, and her
Coach
crew,
McAdams
brother Mike
was
Gonzalez,
on the
and
staff
sister
here back during the
Kimberly
Zach
Gonzalez.
Hudson, Dale West era. And he went
In high
with
school,
Dale
she has been
West
involved in
to
band,
Collinsville.
student council,
And when
NHS, yearbook,
West went to
1 year as
Bells,
editor-in-chief, 3 years at
McAdams
Iraq,
went
color
to
guard captain,
Callisburg, and I think
clarinet
it's been there
choir,
ever since.
3 years of all honors classes, 2 years
But
graphic
a
design,
lot of
2 years of
powerlifting
art,
in their
2 years of
family,
business class.
world-class
She went to
power
attend
lifters,
Baylor University
and
Texas
so
A&M
now
to
they
major
have
in
a
political
Scattaboo
science.
type
Her
quarterback.
bachelor's degree
I say he's going to be a load to bring down then.
Yeah, he certainly is very powerful. Thanks to First Baptist Church of Howe for sponsoring the starting lineups. We're in the Rapid Electric tailgate party. Don't get shocked. Call them at 903-421-8100. Your senior spotlight, which was a collage of all seniors, because we're out of seniors. There's not a lot of seniors this year. I think that's the first time that's ever happened. A lot of years we had to double up and interview 2 at a time to get them all through. But
Anna Guerrero.
so MTE Fence was your senior spotlight. Want to thank Rock Hill Investments for
Now in Langford.
the coach's corner. crazy AC guy for a flux capacitor, and your Howe Bulldogs overview by Michelle Carney Photography. And Jake, I'll let you do the Howe Bulldogs overview. I'm sorry, Justin.
I'm going to say, Jake, you're on.
Really threw me into that one.
Bulldogs overview, they're going to need to, I think, start with special teams. I think that's something we'll be looking out for. You brought up in the coaches show how in the region, I mean, arguably you got two of the best returners with Rocky Cross and Rylan Strong. And don't forget Knox Bounds. He's had a touchdown. So you've got a chance to get some points on the board there on special teams. Offensively, you got to look at the running game. Start with Knox Bounds. Rocky Cross has been getting a lot of touches, and I think that'll set up the pass. You got to have good protection for Bender. You're kind of putting together a patchwork offensive line. You got Large Marge out. Bryce Baker will be in there. Sean Stanley may be in there. So, and even Jameer Brown could possibly show up there on the offensive line. So they're going to be sure they protect Bender. Defensively, this team has shown where they can get turnovers when needed. They've been able to do a good job of that. Another thing, going back to the offense, is trying to make sure they're averaging about 3 turnovers a game, Jake. And that's going to be something to try to overcome as far as, and 2 penalties, playing behind the sticks. And this Callisburg team is kind of a little bit like Bells, where they're going to be keeping the ball on the ground, keep the ball away from the offense. And so you got to do a good job of making sure you don't turn the ball over, because that's losing at least an extra possession.
Well, yeah, and Howe definitely needs this win. I mean, this is essentially a playoff game for the Bulldogs coming into this one. And it's the same for Callisburg, and so both of these teams desperately needing a win. Howe's got to find a way to not turn the ball over. And that's kind of been their Achilles heel all year.
It's either turnovers or penalties.
Yeah, and sometimes both. And they've really got to make sure none of that happens tonight. I think that's the factor in your ball game.
Let's check down with our night furniture. My gosh, I'm going back to 2020 something. Let's check down with Malin Walker, our Love Cottage sideline reporter. Malin, what's the atmosphere like tonight?
Well, the atmosphere is cheerful right now as the senior walks are underway. Not too many fans in the stands right now, but of course they're making their way. You know, everyone talks about October weather, but as soon as it comes out, maybe they don't want to sit around and endure it. We have 74 degrees. That'll glide on down to 70, with wind gusts going up into 20 degrees. So wind will be a factor in this game. Other than that, it should be a great game for football.
Well, we're hoping so. We think it should be. It ought to be very competitive tonight. We're going to take a quick time out. We've got about 15 minutes thereabouts before kickoff, so we'll be back here in 2 minutes.
No one wants to talk about losing a loved one. The grief that is put on your family is troublesome. Scoggins Funeral Home strives to make that most difficult time the easiest. We want your loved one to be sent off in the best way possible, with your wishes at heart. Call us at 903-482-5225 or visit our website at scogginsfuneralhome.com. 903-482-5225. Our location on Van Alstyne Parkway makes everything close for your needs. 903-482-5225. Scoggins Funeral Home.
Who's your local plumber? Brother Plumber. It's good to know someone local and someone you can trust when your home or office drops the ball.
Mainline break, 15 yards.
Brother Plumber is plumb professional and serves not only Howe, but also all of Grayson County. And you can save yourself 10% if you mention Go Bulldogs. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. We'd love to help. Brother Plumber is one call away at 469-968-4487. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. Remember, Go Bulldogs. At Grayson Cullen Electric Cooperative, GCEC, we have been around for over 80 years and are governed by 7 principles: open and voluntary membership, democratic member control, members' economic participation, autonomy and independence, education, training, and information, cooperation among cooperatives, and concern for community. One of our communities is Howe, Texas, and GCEC is proud to support the Howe Bulldogs.
This is Bulldogs head coach Jake Smith, and it didn't take me long to get to know where Sonic of Howe is. After practice or games, I like to head down to 105 North Collins Freeway, grab a burger, tots, and a shake. As a matter of fact, I like to say, it's Sonic time in Texas.
Yeah, Coach, that's kind of my thing.
Oh, okay. How about Sonic really brings the hammer down?
Coach, that's kind of my thing.
With Sonic, I'm highly motivated, truly dedicated.
Yeah, Coach, that's another one of my lines.
How about this? It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Yeah, I like that.
Another big round of applause for all these seniors.
Welcome back. We're at Bulldog Stadium. It's senior night, and the pageantry is finally over. Justin, let's talk a little bit about Callisburg. They're going to present possibly some different challenges for Howe, just because of they run multiple formations. We're going to see a little power eye, too tight set, so you might see a little Denison Yellow Jacket football from the 90s. You're going to see some straight eye formation. You're going to see some wing tee. You're going to see some slot tee. I mean, you're going to see two wides. They are going to empty it all out, and that's got to present somewhat of a challenge to Coach Smith and their defensive side of the ball.
I got a kick out of his interview last week when he was talking to Malin about about having to go into the archives of his game plans, of having to get used to offenses from the 80s and 90s, just kind of 3 yards in a cloud of dirt. 3 yards in a cloud of dirt. What is it?
Dust.
I was like,
I mean, it's more like rubber pellets.
Rubber pellets now, yeah. 3 yards
days.
in a cloud of rubber pellets. But and when you're used to running, going against spread offenses week in and week out. That may be an adjustment for the Bulldogs, but luckily they just got through playing Bells a couple of weeks ago that ran the slot tee, so maybe they use some of the same principles from a couple of weeks ago in the game plan.
So I'm sorry for the pause there. We had some cookies delivered to us from Sherry Allison, always very hospitable. She brought some by the office today and said, "Hey, why don't you try some of these out? I want to make sure the ingredients are perfect and not too much one or the other." And I said, "Yeah, bring them on up here. I'll make that determination." So the determination was that they were perfect, and she has brought a whole tray of cookies up here. So if anyone wants some cookies, dig in, or you want me to put them over here?
That's fine. Yeah,
I'll put them over here by me. So,
but snack on them periodically. The game.
If you hear some chewing,
wrong with the run.
The officials for tonight's game, you're going to have referee Bill Dixon. The umpire is Scott Davis. The head linesman is Griffin Smith. The line judge is John Cameron. The back judge, Micaiah Tillman, the field judge, Tori Arnold Sessons, and the side judge, Jonathan Jackson. And those are the officials for tonight's game. Head coach for Callisburg is Corey Robertson. He's 7-10. He was promoted from within to replace Eddie Gill a year ago. Eddie Gill was such a great North Texas high school football coach for a number of years. Went to retirement again. I think that may be the second or third time he's retired. He was at Whitesboro for a long time, turned that program around, and then got hired. I think he retired there and then went to Callisburg and then retired again. And so Corey Robertson, who was on his staff, is now 7-10, taking over for him. Callisburg does not have a large roster. This is somewhat the first time Howe has played a team with a similar size roster. So, obviously Howe does not have a huge roster either, and anytime you get injuries, it really makes things even more pressing. And Howe's had their share of injuries this year. Kendall O'Brien will be unavailable to play. Will Ingram is unavailable to play, and Braxton Buttery, of course, is unable to play. So we're still having some audio scenarios. It may be the board. Maybe we'll try that and see if that's any better. Not really.
A little bit, not great.
So,
well, I don't know, you may be talking about this later on, but what about the playoffs scenario?
So as I understand it, there's a possibility that if, of course, Coach Smith is a one game at a time kind of guy.
Right.
So this scenario kind of makes him crazy because you have to win 2 games to think about the playoffs. The next 2 games, you got to win back to back. And he said if there is a playoff scenario and Howe gets to choose, it could be possibly Ennis.
Okay.
Possibly as far as the location.
Location, not the team.
Not playing Ennis, thankfully. Won't have to do that this year or in hopefully many years. But as far as teams, we're looking at a district that includes Cedar Hill TLC Tigers, the Rice Bulldogs, Dallas-inspired Vision Eagles, Scurry-Rosser Wildcats, Dallas Gateway Gators, Blooming Grove Lions. So that's who you're kind of looking at down the road as a possible playoff matchup. And we hear, and I haven't looked at it. I apologize, I haven't even looked at it, but I think Stephen Braswell sends me a text and says, "Where the heck are the cookies?"
I'll take some up.
Yeah, take some up. Tell him to have some.
We've unplugged his mic. We didn't give him any cookies.
He's looking up at me from upstairs.
But, going back to winning these next 2 games, if you can win tonight, you've got a bye week next week. So you've got a week to kind of nurse your injuries and kind of take care of your bodies and get ready for a big game, a real tough team in Blue Ridge. They're beatable, but it'll be a tough team in Blue Ridge. Now, I know you got to take care of tonight, but just something to think about.
I want to say thank you to all of our sponsors. TechWave is our kickoff sponsor. The scoring drive recap each week is Kingdom Inflatables. We serve his kingdom. 903-816-5486. Be sure and give them a call for your next birthday party or any party. The Sideline Report brought to you by Love Cottage. The halftime show will be brought to you by Baker Air Conditioning and Heating. The Bandsman of the Week, all-in custom gutters and Christmas lights, and the Lady Bulldogs Volleyball Spotlight brought to you by Anchors Boat and RV Storage. The post-game show tonight will be brought to you by Texas Land and Home Team. And let's hope it's a fun post-game show at Bulldog Stadium. We don't get to have a whole lot of those here over the past. I mean, let's face it. Over the past 25 years, Howe has been Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And I know that's hard for a lot of people to think, especially myself, because I don't view Howe as Vanderbilt. But look at Vanderbilt now. And all it took was to change the culture. You got Charlie Lay and you got Diego there, and now they are a more than formidable program. And I feel like that's going to be your Howe Bulldogs. Could even be this year. But you have to do the things tonight to prepare for next week and then prepare for the playoffs. You have to you got to take it one step at a time. He says 1 rep at a time. Well, that is literally the case tonight, 1 rep at a time, because you can't play Blue Ridge until you play this game, and you can't beat Blue Ridge until you beat Callisburg. So Howe Bulldogs have a winnable game tonight for sure. But again, what's it going to come down to? And I think you mentioned this earlier before. Turnovers,
penalties,
and penalties. Those are the main 2 issues, Jake Roberts, that they've had so far this year.
Yeah, and I think another big thing, and it kind of falls into the span of turnovers, but turning the ball over on downs is going to be a big deal for the Bulldogs, and I think they've definitely struggled with that this year, especially inside the red zone. They've been just flat out bad inside the red zone this year.
It's finally football time. Dylan Patterson carries out the black flag as the Bulldogs run through the tunnel. Again, not much of a crowd here tonight. I don't know if it's the Thursday night. I don't. The early kick, I'm not sure, but very much a JV crowd on really both sides.
I'm sure word got out that the game got scheduled tonight. Hopefully, enough people heard about that.
I certainly hope so. And Callisburg Wildcats now come out on the far side. They'll be in all white tonight. White pants, white jerseys, and maroon helmets and maroon numbers. But solid white pants, the best I can tell. I don't think there's a stripe on it. Howe will be in all black except the white helmet and solid black pants. The white stripe from the pants has been removed. No more Permian Panther look. These Bulldogs are solid black with white numbers.
Welcome to tonight's ball game.
You can hear Roger Tidwell pipe in there on the PA. And captains are lining up. Captains for the Bulldogs are Dylan Patterson, Rylan Strong, Aiden Torres, and also
Van Derrick
will be Van Derrick.
Dylan Patterson and Aiden Torres.
And we're getting ready to talk to Malin over there.
And for Callisburg, Michael Wright.
The officials are talking to the team right now.
Welcome, guys. Thanks for doing this. Sportsmanship at all times. We need it. All right, we know we've done the coin toss already. We're just going to make this look pretty, all right? You have this, okay, heads and tails, da-da-da-da. You've won the toss. You've elected to receive. You want to kick from the clock, correct? Yeah, okay. Stand next to me, Callisburg.
So Callisburg has won the toss, and they will receive the football to start this football game.
Callisburg has won the toss, elected to receive. Howe will kick from the clock.
And as you hear right there, Callisburg will kick, or Howe will kick from the clock, which means the scoreboard.
And they will receive the opening.
And Howe will be kicking towards the concession stand and playing defense first tonight. It's got a big first series, Justin.
Yeah, I like that because you get a chance to get the ball in the second half to start the game, start the second half.
Teams are starting to face the flag for the national anthem. We'll give you that. Played by the pride of Howe. That, Justin White, it is football time in Texas.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
and we are prepared for a really good football game tonight.
It is time
for the final time here at Bulldog Stadium.
It is for this season.
Yes, this season. Thursday Night Lights. I'm having a hard time. I think I was telling you guys in pregame. I'm having a hard time adjusting to that this week.
Yeah, and this will be. There are no more Friday night football games unless there are playoff football games, because 2 weeks from now, Howe will play Blue Ridge at Blue Ridge, and it is on a Thursday night. For whatever reason, the coaches have all kind of gone to that, and I'm not going to blame Gunner, but it seems like Gunner maybe set that trend several years ago.
I bet they did. 1 day extra rest, I guess, for playoffs maybe.
More than likely. So it's Howe and Callisburg. And for Howe, it'll be Keelan Davis on the Tech Wave kickoff to start this football game. Right-footed kicker, bangs it down the field, bounces at the 35, still rolling. Picked up at the 24-yard line and hit hard at the 34. On the return was Leighton Brasher for the Callisburg Wildcats. And they'll be moving left to right from our vantage point.
Keelan Davis in on the tackle.
And they'll start at the 34-yard line, at their own 34. Just underway, expecting the first play from scrimmage, 11:55 on the clock.
See how this Howe defense matched up against this kind of multiple formation type of offense.
And Brevin Mayo getting the start at defensive end. Here's the carry, first carry around the right edge. And that will be Zinski on the carry. Gabe Zinski, his first carry of the night's going to gain right about 5 yards up to the 39-yard line.
Line up in that slot back on the left side. Got the snap and just a quick handoff, sweep around the right side.
Again, you've got Bowen Scattaboo McAdams at quarterback. Not your typical looking quarterback, and where's the number 44? Here's a handoff, or a toss rather, coming near side, breaking free down the sideline, 30 to the 10 to the 5, pushed out of bounds at the 1-yard line is Tegan Barnett as he got around the edge on a little toss. And they'll mark him out at the 2.
Brought down at 2-yard line.
Well, he was untouched when he got that toss around the right side, got a lane that opened up, and he's a big old boy rumbling down the sidelines. And let's point out Ryland Strong on the hustle there to knock him out of bounds to the 2-yard line.
59-yard run on play number 2 for Callisburg. Here goes McAdams. He'll toss it again, and easily strolling in the end zone once again is Tegan Barnett on the carry. So early, I mean really early into this football game, like 46 seconds into this football game, Callisburg is on the board.
And in 3 plays.
Wow. 2-yard touchdown by Tegan Barnett. The PAT is on the tee. The kick is up. And the kick by Sam Wilson is good. It's 7-0. Callisburg in the lead with 11:14 left to go in the first.
No one wants to talk about losing a loved one. The grief that is put on your family is troublesome. Scoggins Funeral Home strives to make that most difficult time the easiest. We want your loved one to be sent off in the best way possible, with your wishes at heart. Call us at 903-482-5225 or visit our website at scogginsfuneralhome.com. 903-482-5225. Our location on Van Alstyne Parkway makes everything close for your needs. 903-482-5225. Scoggins Funeral Home. Who's your local plumber? Brother Plumber. It's good to know someone local and someone you can trust when your home or office drops the ball.
Main line break, 15 yards.
Brother Plumber is plumb professional and serves not only Howe, but also all of Grayson County. And you can save yourself 10% if you mention Go Bulldogs. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. We'd love to help. Brother Plumber is one call away at 469-968-4487. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. Remember, Go Bulldogs.
Your Kingdom Inflatable scoring drive recap for Callisburg. 3 plays, 66 yards. And it was a 2-yard touchdown by Tegan Barnett. Here's your Tech Wave kickoff. Going to go to Ryken Cross, coming to the far side, to the near side. Got the 35, cuts it up 40. Down at the 43-yard line. And Howe will start there with pretty good field position. Malin, how did Tegan Barnett, how was he able to get around the corner and run for 59 yards?
Well, he was able to do that with credit to the offensive line. When you have those seal blocks like Callisburg gave, it's kind of easy to just stroll on in there for 50-some yards.
And so Howe will start 1st and 10 from their own 44-yard line. Moving right to left, Aiden Torres breaks the huddle, comes to the line of scrimmage. Ryland Strong split out wide right. Ryken Cross split out wide left. This is a handoff to Knox Bounds, trying to find the line of scrimmage. Forward progress might get him there, but not much doing for Knox Bounds on play number 1.
I think 74, that nose tackle, Gustavo Perez, right there in the middle. Just went head-to-head with Aiden Torres, got off the ball pretty quickly and kind of pushed Torres back into the backfield as soon as Bounds got the ball.
2nd down and 10. 3 receivers bunched together on either side. Ryken Cross wants the ball, and he's going to try to dart it, and they were all over that, sniffed it out. Cross might get one as he took the snap from the quarterback position. And you can tell easily because he's got the green gloves.
A little bit of a wrinkle. I don't think we've gotten any, if any, of Ryken Cross getting the direct snap.
The green gloves might have given away the play. And it'll be 3rd down and 9 for Howe from their own 45. Strong goes wide right. Cross goes out there with him in the slot. Near side is Garibay, and Bender wants to throw. Quick pass, caught by an up man. It's going to be close to a 1st down. A late flag comes in at the end of that play. Caden Thomas made the catch. He was right at the sticks and might have been hit late out of bounds.
He was tie roping that sideline, that far sideline on the Callisburg side, and got rudely pushed out of bounds, and the official was right there, threw the flag.
I think it might be a face mask.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was. I was going to say that or a holding or a face mask. It's a penalty on Callisburg regardless. It was going to be close to the 1st down marker, but with the penalty, that gives them the 1st down. And I think you're right. I think that was a face mask because they're moving it
all the way down to the 34 in Callisburg territory.
So a gift by the Callisburg defense.
From the plus 34, Bounds in the backfield. Man goes in motion and a handoff to Bounds. Left side, runs for about 2 yards to the 31.
Number 5 knocks Bounds.
Maybe 32.
Gain of 2 on the play.
The run game for Bounds has been bottled up lately. Early in the season, that guard tackle trap and belly G, those kinds of things are counter. The counter was really working early in the year. Teams have seen a lot of film and are trying to snuff that out and have done a fairly good job of doing so. 9:15 on the clock here in the first quarter. Callisburg up 7-0. 2nd down and 8 coming up for Howe. Bounds to the left side of Bender, who's in the gun, and he's going to run it himself. He's in trouble, and right there, I think that was a busted play from the beginning. It looked as if Bender had the ball in his hands before he wanted it.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was supposed to be maybe a handoff or a read option to Bounds. Bounds just went, as soon as the snap was taken by Bender, he went to block, and Bender was trying to hand off to Bounds, or at least fake it. And next thing you know, he's got the ball in his hands and a Callisburg defender coming right at him.
4-yard loss, and now Howe faces 3rd and 12.
You're probably in 4-down territory right now.
Bender in the gun. Rogers to his right. Bender wants to throw, and in and out of the hands of Ryland Strong. It was just too high for him apparently, but I think Ryland Strong would tell you he should have had that.
Yeah, off the
and
tip
it was almost caught on the rebound.
Yeah, Caden Thomas almost got it on the backside.
So it's 4th down, and Justin, we're going to see if you were right or not. This is the 7th play of the drive, and it appears like Howe's going for it. Although Garrett Rogers is in the game, and he is your punter, but he will not be the punter on this play. He'll go to a slot position. Empty back. Bender in the gun. Drops back. 5 steps. Flushed out a little bit. Now rolling near side. Throwing it out of bounds. And that'll turn the ball over on downs.
Pass is incomplete.
Nothing there,
ball
but
goes over on downs.
you try to throw it downfield and just
I mean,
maybe
on
throw
4th
up a Hail
down,
Mary,
on
4th down.
4th down, you can heave it downfield, and who cares if it gets intercepted?
Exactly. It's almost like a long punt. Instead, he heaved it out of bounds by the House sideline. So,
you know, he's just a sophomore.
Yeah.
And he probably hears from his coaches all the time, if there's nothing there, throw it out of bounds.
And remember where we were from the beginning of the year when we were playing against, who was that, Boyd, the first game of the season, where he was just getting blitzed and hammered back there and would never throw the ball away. He's now throwing the ball away, just did it on 4th down.
8:03 on the clock as Callisburg comes to the line of scrimmage from their own 36. A toss to Barnett again. This time he's rattled up a little bit after about 3 yards or 4 yards to the 40-yard line.
Barnett is just a bruiser of a fullback. And I don't know who that was, maybe Jameer Brown with the tackle, but he had to hop on the back of whoever it was of the Bulldogs had to hop on the back of Barnett to bring him down.
Barnett is a big kid. They don't give heights and weights anymore, so I'm gonna make an estimation of he's about 6'1" or 2 and 210. Second down and 7. Handoff to Barnett again over left guard, maybe 2.
Once again, Tegan Barnett.
And it's going to be hard not to stop him from getting at least 2 yards on each play.
He runs very upright until he has contact, and then he lowers his shoulder. I saw at the end of his touchdown run earlier, he got in the end zone, about 2 yards in the end zone, and lowered his helmet and hit Ryland Strong right in the chest.
Third down.
He looks for contact.
3rd down and 3 coming up as Callisburg comes to the line of scrimmage. Justin Laney breaks the huddle, comes to the line as the center. They're going to try to sneak it with Scattaboo McAdams, and he's going to be close to the first down.
I think he got it.
And no indication yet. They're going to spot it at the 47, and now they're going to move the sticks. So
Bowling McAdams.
Pick up a 3 for Scattaboo McAdams and a new set of downs.
I like that name, even though it's a made-up name.
Wilson comes near side, split out far. Man goes in motion. And this is Zinski hit right in the mouth. Sit down. That's going to be a loss of about 3.
Garrett Rogers.
Back to the 45-yard line as Rogers was right there to hammer it.
Trying that quick sweep around, using that slot back on the left side. And I believe that was Eli Stoner waiting for him. And at least slowed him down for the rest of the Bulldogs to come and knock him back behind the line of scrimmage.
Wilson goes split out on the far side. Hammer in the slot with him. McAdams and shotgun for one of the very few times is going to throw it out, and Hammer makes the catch with whistles before this gets underway. Was it an incomplete pass?
Yeah, he hit the ground. He kind of short hopped it to the left side, and now we have an injury.
Timeout has been called. There's an injured Bulldog on the far side. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back in just a moment.
At Grayson Cullen Electric Cooperative, GCEC, we have been around for over 80 years and are governed by 7 principles: open and voluntary membership, democratic member control, members' economic participation, autonomy and independence, education, training, and information, cooperation among cooperatives, and concern for community. One of our communities is Howe, Texas, and GCEC is proud to support the Howe Bulldogs.
This is Bulldogs head coach Jake Smith, and it didn't take me long to get to know where Sonic of Howe is. After practice or games, I like to head down to 105 North Collins Freeway, grab a burger, tots, and a shake. As a matter of fact, I like to say, it's Sonic time in Texas.
Yeah, Coach, that's kind of my thing.
Oh, okay. How about Sonic really brings the hammer down?
Coach, that's kind of my thing.
With Sonic, I'm highly motivated, truly dedicated.
Yeah, Coach, that's another one of my lines.
How about this? It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Yeah, I like that.
The injured Bulldog is still on the field, right on the 4 of 40 in front of the Callisburg bench. So all the trainers and everyone are over there. Mark Stein tending to this young man, but
we're trying to do process of elimination of who's.
It's not Reichencross. It's not Deacon Bender.
It's not Ryland Strong.
But we can't see who it is over there now. Somebody's.
Is it Eli Stoner?
Somebody's getting up. It's not Garibay. It is
Garrett Rogers.
So Rogers not putting any
Garrett
weight
Rogers being helped
on that
field.
right leg, and that's that's a big part of that defense, and
that's your punter.
And your punter. That's a big loss. No weight whatsoever on his right leg.
Defensively, and then he kind of helps out, knocks bounds in the backfield running the ball, and then, yeah, the punter.
And returns kicks ever so often. Yeah, that's a big loss.
It was interesting. It was on a play it was kind of an incomplete screen pass on the left side, and so there wasn't really no contact, it looked like. or very minimal contact on that far side.
So here comes Callisburg to the line of scrimmage. McAdams toss once again. That's Barnett. And the Mad Honduran makes the stop. It'll be 4th down and 12 for the Wildcats at the 3:58 mark.
Good job of the defense not letting him get a full head of steam. He got the pitch and just could not get going and just kind of gang tackled him. Once he gets a full head of steam and going downhill, he's going to be hard to bring down, but Bulldogs did a good job letting him not get going.
Bowen, Scattaboo, McAdams will go back to punt. And now has another timeout been called?
Howe
has called a timeout. We'll take 1, 2. We'll be back in just a moment.
What's up, guys? It's Ridley Carter. I'm a senior cross country and long distance track runner.
This is Riley McCollum, senior basketball player and leading strikeout softball pitcher.
I'm Dylan Patterson, graduating football player and powerlifter.
I'm Ayla Jones, class of 2026 volleyball player.
We would like to thank the Howe Athletic Booster Club for the support of Howe student athletes and encourage anyone interested in helping to join. Go Dogs!
If your home or business could talk, what would it say? It may say it would like some privacy or security. Enjoy the beauty and durability of quality fencing from MTE Fence. MTE Fence is a local company specializing in commercial and residential fencing. MTE Fence ranges from wood, aluminum, and chain link fencing. MTE Fence services all of Grayson County and surrounding areas. Go to mtefence.com or call 903-686-9039 for an estimate. MTE Fence has a passion for connection. We are your connection for quality.
Ryken Cross will go back deep to return this punt, and he'll stand right about the 21. Now he's still backpedaling to about the 20-yard line. McAdams to punt it away from his own 31-yard line. The line of scrimmage is the 45. Slow snap, but he gets it. It's a high punt. Cross is going to let it hop right at the 21 and take a sideways roll down to the 15-yard line. So Howe will not have great field position starting from their own 15, moving right to left here in the first quarter, trailing 7-0 to Callisburg.
It was a good punt, good high punt.
That's the 16-yard line.
Yeah, I saw him before the game kind of warming up, and I could tell that he was a pretty good punter. I saw him booming a few.
Scattaboo can do everything.
They really can.
He was a starting center last year.
Wow.
On this football team.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Not a lot of people go from the starting center to the starting quarterback.
Kidding.
This is a big possession for the Bulldogs after getting a stop.
From their own 16 is where they'll spot it. Bender in the gun. Cross goes in motion. They toss it to him. That's a forward pass. Trying to get around the edge, and he's going to gain a couple before he's ran out of bounds. He never could really turn the corner.
They stringed him out pretty good.
Looks like about 3 on the play.
And we'll see where they spot that. I think he's going to get 1 or 2.
It's almost like a jet sweep, but they kind of underhand toss it to him. As you said, they count it as a forward pass.
Yeah, technically that is a forward pass. No wonder Bender's percentages are so good.
When you only had to pass the ball like a yard forward.
A half a yard. Now comes to the line of scrimmage. Bender in the gun. Everybody tight. Here's a man in motion. And I think Bender may have kept it up the middle. Hard to see down there.
Bender on the quarterback.
And he did. And it's going to be close to a first down near the 25-yard line. They're spotted at the 24, a yard shy.
Looks to believe it was either a read option or affected to the man in motion. He hasn't had a lot of running room this season, especially last few games. So
4 down territory here, Justin?
No, not unless you're playing Madden.
And I think they
Come
now Van Derrick jumped off sides. And Howe's going to back up 5 yards. Instead of 3rd and 1, it's going to be 3rd and 6.
And this has been such a problem for the Bulldogs this year, just getting themselves in manageable 3rd downs and then just kind of shooting themselves in the foot and then making it 3rd and 6. Still manageable, but it's not 3rd and 1.
That's one of those where you maybe overthought it a little bit. If you just go for it, I think you pick up the first down, possibly.
But and I like it when they get in I formation and just kind of run right at you.
Yeah, you've said that previously. You do like that I formation.
I do.
3rd down and 6. Man in motion. Hand off to Knox Bounds, trying to break it out. Now in trouble. Jumps over. Somehow keeps his feet to the 25-yard line. If he has the first down, that's one of the most incredible performances of staying on his feet. He balanced himself on his left hand and kept going.
And then leaped over a defender. Did a great job of staying on his feet and keeping good balance.
That's a first down run.
Well, and not to mention, there were 3 or 4 defenders in his face, and he just somehow snuck through them.
He looked like former Bulldog Michael Bailey running the football there. I don't know how he didn't go down. Offset eye for Howe. Bender, handoff, Bender's going to keep it, and he's hit hard.
Number 11 on the quarterback keeper, Deacon Bender.
Gets back to the line of scrimmage. So 2nd down and 10 coming up. 5th play of the drive coming up.
Callisburg wasn't fooled by any kind of fakes or read options as Bender took the snap and tried to get a yard or 2 out of it.
By the way, during the last break, Jake Roberts made me try a cookie, and they are pretty good.
That's not how that went at all. But
this is radio. There's no video up here. There's no video evidence.
Exactly.
2:25 on the clock. Handoff to Bounds. And again, not much doing there. Maybe a couple.
Number 5,
to the
Bounds.
28-yard line.
Gain of 2 on the play.
So again, another big 3rd down for Howe coming up. This time 3rd and probably 7. 2:04 on the clock. We're getting close to the end of this first stanza. Caden Thomas will go in the slot with Reich and Cross, and Ryland Strong split out wide to the right that side. Garibay split out wide to the near side. Bender wants to throw right, throws. Strong can't bring it in right at the sticks. And it'll be 4th down. A nice defensive play by Tucker Salgado for Callisburg.
Well, Gabriel Zinski was coming on a blitz. Callisburg brought 6 guys, and Zinski had a free shot at Bender, and Bender just couldn't step into that throw as much as he wanted to. Had a little bit too much touch on it as he got driven into the turf.
Yeah, he got hammered.
So Ryland Strong is your answer for who's going to be the punter. Stands back there, punts it away. It's a low end-over-end kick, going to bounce at Howe's 45. Rolls, apparently, I thought it was going to roll over midfield, but it went out of bounds at the 49-yard line. So Callisburg has great field position starting on their 3rd drive. And what a weapon you have at punter if you ever need a fake punt or something like that.
What you always said about Bill Parcells with special teams, hidden yards?
Hidden yards. Yes, sir.
Because right there, I mean, they're getting to start this drive on the Howe 49.
Bill Parcells' biggest thorn in his side, other than pre-snap penalties, and that's everybody's thorn, but not catching punts. Because there's where your hidden yardage is. He wanted everyone to at least catch the punt and get rid of that roll. Here's McAdams on 1st and 10. He'll hand off on the reverse on the inside, and Howe sniffed that out for a moment, somehow getting through. I think that may be Zinski on the carry, and it is, and he's going to lose a couple of yards back to the 49 on the Callisburg side.
It was a delay handoff to the fullback, and I mean, it took a while to materialize, and Howe was not fooled. By the time he got the handoff, there were black jerseys all over.
That was like the Bell's version of the 8-hole reverse, but to the other side, and Howe was right there. Sam Wilson comes split out wide to the near side. 2 men in the backfield. Zinski goes in motion. McAdams turns, tosses. McKnight's going to be hit hard by the second baseman, Fernando Sanchez, shy of the first down mark at the 42-yard line.
Sanchez making the stop.
Give credit to Sanchez. McKnight is like a bowling ball as he runs. He's got a low center of gravity, and Sanchez didn't make a business decision like Coach Prime has done many times. he stuck his nose in there and made the tackle.
They'll say he went down at the 43, so it's 3rd down and about 4 for Callisburg. McAdams goes under center, turn and hands to Zinski, who shot out of a cannon. He has the first down just past the marker at the 38-yard line. And they'll move the sticks. Nearing the end of the first quarter, 8 seconds on the clock, and it will expire as soon as they get the chains rolling. That is the end of the first quarter. 7-0 Callisburg on top as they scored very early in this football game. Everybody blank since. We'll be right back.
This is more than a bundle. This is way more than a combo deal. It's your sanctuary, your home field. It's where everything happens. This is your home, your car, your memories. And you want to be sure they're protected with home and auto insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. That's why I'm here to help life go right. My name is Ed Meacham, and I'm your Howe State Farm agent. Give me a call at 903-892-3923 or on the web at mredinsurance.com.
From tailgate to touchdown, South State is here to ensure your financial game plan leads you to victory. With cutting-edge digital tools like contactless payment, digital wallet, and more, your financial plays become seamless and convenient. As your trusted banking partner, South State is committed to supporting you every step of the way, providing expert guidance and dedicated assistance on your financial journey. This is Banking Forward, South State Bank, member FDIC.
1st and 10 for Callisburg. Now headed towards the concession stand. There's somebody jumped off sides. I didn't call it. Now here is a pass and catch to Sam Wilson racing down the field inside the 20 to the 18-yard line, but the flag is down. Coach Smith let them know that, hey, Sam Wilson moved a little bit early before the snap, and he ended up catching the football.
They call it illegal shift, I guess, legal procedure on Callisburg. Something looked right. Yeah, somebody wasn't lined up or jumped early or something.
Hey, Malin, let's not commit any HIPAA violations or anything, but I see Garrett Rogers down there with an ice pack on his knee. And Malin apparently can't hear me.
Do we have his mic plugged?
5-yard penalty marked off.
Malin, can you hear us?
Still 1st down.
We'll get back to you.
It is a little spotty.
Yeah, we'll get back to you after this play. 1st down and 15 now for Callisburg, backed up at the 43-yard line. Handoff to McKnight up the middle. So let's not create any HIPAA violations or anything. I did see Garrett Rogers down there with an ice pack on his right knee. I'm assuming Maloney's out for the game.
Yes, that'd be my conclusion too, is that Garrett Rogers will be out of the game, but we don't know any information besides that.
2nd down and 13. Thank you, Malin, our Love Cottage sideline reporter. 11 minutes on the clock here in the second quarter. It's 2nd down and 13 for Callisburg as they just gained a couple of yards back. And a turn and toss. And that's Barnett again. He has the feet cut out from under him by the linebacker, Chris Torres. Great job of scraping over and making that play. That'll be 3rd and 9
Barnett, the ball carrier
for Callisburg.
Big deal like that, you take him down on his knees. That's what Torres did. Wrapped him up around his legs and brought the big boy down. So interesting, 3rd and 9. And they don't pass the ball much. They've only attempted one pass here tonight.
It's not like Scattaboo can't throw it down the field, though. I've seen some film. Okay. Sam Wilson will go split out wide to the right. McKnight in the backfield along with Barnett. Under center goes McAdams. There's a toss left side to Barnett. Hit almost immediately, nowhere near 9 yards. And he's driven out of bounds hard. No flag as the Whitesboro crowd obviously wants a flag, but none is thrown. He was hit legally inbounds and then
Eli Stoner and
on his own will kind of went backwards. He almost got Garrett Rogers' other knee.
Yeah, he's almost knocked the table out from under Rogers, who's on his back.
He did gain 5 yards, but Callisburg not showing punt here on 4th and 4. Wilson split out wide right. McAdams goes under center. McKnight in the backfield tries to send a man in motion and trying to do it himself is McAdams. He's going to be very close. I don't think he has enough. And it will be a turnover on downs, and Howe has held, and Jameer Brown lets everybody know it.
McAdams dropped the snap. What happened? He mishandled the snap, and so had to go forward. After he picked it up and had to just do something with it.
9-yard line.
And just kind of plowed his way for 3, but not the 4 he needed.
So Howe will take over at their own 29-yard line with 9:52 left to go in the second quarter. The Bulldogs at some point are going to have to show some kind of life on offense.
Yeah, this defense is doing a great job, aside from that one big play on the first possession, of just kind of doing their job. And this offense has really got to get going some way or another.
Knox Bounds all alone in the backfield. He'll get the snap. He's got it. He's going to run up the middle. Not much doing there. Knocked backwards, but does get 2 yards up to the 31-yard line.
Knox Bounds.
There's just been nowhere to run in between the tackles tonight.
I was just about to say the same thing. Between the tackles, there's nothing there, which makes you think maybe you try to get Ryken Cross and something on the outside.
They had their big package offensive lineman in there with Jameer Brown, but back to their regular offense now.
Jameer Brown got a carry last week.
He did. And it's Bryce Baker in at right guard. Shotgun for Bender. Looks left, wants to throw, flushed out of the pocket, wrapped around, gets away somehow, racing down the sidelines and gets back. He's going to lose a couple of yards, but a flag comes late. All the way up, about halfway up the field goal post. It was thrown so high. Sean Stanley now will check in. And we'll see who this is against. You got kind of a basketball chant going in by the crowd. You can't do that. It was 2nd down and 8. The officials are trying to sort this out. It's going to be against Callisburg.
They're getting ready to work it off.
And I still haven't seen a signal.
Callisburg.
Looks like unsportsmanlike conduct.
Is going to be a Bulldog first down.
It'll take the ball all the way up to the 44-yard line, just shy of midfield. It'll be a first down for Howe with 8:55 on the clock here in quarter number 2. Callisburg still leading 7-0.
Howe gets bailed out because they were having a hard time moving the ball. Got a fresh set of downs now.
It's time to start moving the ball, fellas. Bender alone in the gun. And he'll drop back 3 steps, looks right. Deep ball, looking for Cross. Cross comes down with it. It was a jump ball.
They're saying incomplete now. How?
Oh, they're saying incomplete.
Ryken Cross. Great effort, young man.
Well, Ryland Strong thought he had it for a moment, but it apparently fell incomplete at the last second. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. All of that fun for an incomplete pass.
I'm sorry,
Trying to
Ryken
Strong
Cross
down the seam. Bender put some touch on that. Just too much touch because it ended up being short, almost like a pop fly, and then Cross able to go up and almost came down with it.
Well, when Cross went up and he came down, Ryland Strong was right there, put his arms way up as if he made the catch.
Yeah.
So 8:32 on the clock. Bender rolls out right, trying to elude traffic. He's got a lot of traffic, and he's sacked back to the 30-yard line. 3 white jerseys are there. And that includes Cade Baldwin. And that'll be a big loss. Back to the 32-yard line. A 12-yard loss on the sack.
Yeah, that was just no blocking up front and just nothing downfield. And just couldn't get rid of it quick enough and had to take the sack.
I'm calling the hook and ladder.
Right here, huh?
Why not?
I think get Ryland Strong on a vertical route downfield just to see if he can outrun somebody.
Well, he's matched up against the sophomore, Zayden Deering.
Timeout called.
Timeout's been called
Timeout
by Howe. We'll take one, too. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Hey, Steve here, the Crazy AC Guy. We raise top-notch AC units and train the finest service techs west of the Mississippi. And we got a truly crazy deal for you. Get 0% financing for 60 months for any qualified air conditioning and heating system. You'd have to be crazy like me to miss this deal. So for all your AC and electrical needs, call us at 903-465-2665 or visit us at crazyacguy.com.
The Crazy AC Guy, where crazy meets quality.
Buying and or selling your next home or property should be an enjoyable experience. At Texoma Land and Home Team, our commitment to the personal relationship of each transaction ensures communication you expect, while assuring that we'll be here the next time you need us. We're not a big box real estate company by design. This freedom allows us to be fully at your service. Texoma Land and Home Team, Renee Nichols Broker, 903-818-1645. Texoma Land and Home Team, for all your real estate needs, 903-818-1645.
Bender drops back, wants to throw. Looking down the field, he has Ryland Strong, and it goes through his hands again. And it falls incomplete, as there was a chance to intercept
Pass is
that.
incomplete.
But
Ryland Strong
no one was there in the area, and it falls to the turf. The ball was not perfectly thrown, but Strong had both hands on it. It's 4th down and 20 for Howe, who will punt again.
I think it was a catchable ball, too, for Strong.
Strong will stand at his own 20-yard line. Snap is a good one. Strong's kick is a low end-over-end kick. It's going to take a big hop, taking up the middle, and hit fairly hard. Zinski dodged what was going to be a missile coming at him, and he'll go down at the 45-yard line. And that's where Callisburg will start this drive with 7:30 on the clock here in quarter number 2.
And kind of disappointing by that Howe offense. They got a gift in the personal foul, but they got the sack.
That negated it.
And negated it, yeah. Couldn't convert the 3rd and long.
And boy, they are giving some room on Ryland Strong over here. They've got.
They're respecting that speed.
They definitely are respecting the speed. Roger Tidwell just ate about 9 of my cookies in a matter of 2 minutes.
And the lid disappeared as well.
And the lid's gone. 1st and 10. Man in motion is Zinski. McAdams is going to keep it himself, and he will barrel forward. That's a Scattaboo we were talking about. And he'll go up to the 48-yard line, so a gain of 3 for Scattaboo McAdams.
You know, he's got that.
Malin, is that a fair nickname for McAdams?
I think that's totally fair. There's no one who has that sort of physicality and stature, even down to 44. I mean, it's just asking for it.
It's just asking for it.
I mean, he's got tree trunks as thighs. I mean, his lower body is huge. You say he's a powerlifting guy?
Flags before we get underway. It's going to be a false start against Callisburg. Both teams have really, or was a timeout called prior to? No,
it's a penalty.
It's a penalty. Both teams have really shot themselves in the foot tonight with penalties early on. Callisburg has bailed out Howe at times, and Howe has shot themselves in the foot at times. 2nd down and 12 coming up. 6:42 on the clock. Howe showing blitz. Toss back to Zinski. Runs into his own man. Bounces it out to the near side. Escapes a tackle, but it can't escape Chris Torres, the linebacker, along with Jameer Brown, who moves everybody up another yard or 2. It knocks. Bounds is down. Bounds is down at the 47-yard line, exactly where the play ended, and he's putting his left hand up to his left ear.
I think he got popped pretty good.
He's walking around. Jameer Brown came in late and just knocked the pile everywhere like a bowling ball.
The difference between this kind of offense with their running backs and like a Bells is a lot of like quick scat back kind of guys. These guys for Callisburg are just bruisers. They're not very fast, but they're big and low center of gravity, and they're going to run you over.
Wilson comes near side. Man goes in motion, illegal shift. I think that's going to be against Callisburg, as Barnett, a timeout was called before because they didn't know what they were doing on that play. 6:06 on the clock. Callisburg leads 7-0. We'll be right back.
Here's some things to never mess with if you're not a trained professional. Caging a bulldog. Removing copperheads. And electricity. Oh! Don't get shocked. Call Rapid Electric. Rapid Electric is here for all your electrical needs. Just like you wouldn't try to become a pro boxer or president.
Give me a break.
You need a pro to keep your electricity humming. Don't get shocked. Rapid Electric serves the Grayson County area. Call them at 903-421-8100. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights is proud to sponsor the pride of Howe High School's Bandsman of the Week. Your hometown Bulldog alumni owned and operated business is here for all your seamless gutter and outdoor Christmas lights needs. Give them a call at 903-819-9183 and let them make your house shine really bright this Christmas. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights. Give them a call at 903-819-9183. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights.
3rd down and 7. McAdams sends a man in motion. He wants to throw. He looks back the other side and overshoots Hammer as he hammered it over Hammer's head. And it's going to be 4th down. Trying to catch Howe napping. I stand corrected. Sweater Boy next door told me he ate 12 cookies instead of 8, and that being Roger Tidwell. I shouldn't say that. Now he's in control of the air.
You guys are about to start burning up over here.
It's going to be sweating here in a minute. If only my Kevin Wilson window had a sliding mechanism. 4th down and 7. Back to punt is Scattaboo McAdams. Who else? And the punt is a high booming kick back inside the 20. It's going to roll inside the 15 near the 10, and I think Howe's going to be trapped up back at their own 10-yard line.
They've had some field position starting at the 15, now at their 10.
Bulldogs now take over.
Been really deep here tonight.
1st down from their own 10-yard
So
line.
Callisburg took the ball first in this football game. On the second play of the game went 51 yards, or 59 yards, and then punched it in a play later to take the lead. It literally took 46 seconds to have a score in this game, but since then, Howe turned it over on down after 7 plays. Callisburg punted after 6 plays. Howe punted after 7 plays. Callisburg turned it over on down after 7 plays. Howe punted after 6 plays. And now Callisburg has punted after 3 plays. And the Bulldogs have the ball at their own 10-yard line. Man in motion, Deacon Bender is going to hand it off up the middle. And they're breaking free is Knox Bounds. And that's good to see. That's the first time we've seen him break free through the middle. Only 5:43 left to go before the half. And now Howe lines up in a swinging gate from their own 22-yard line after a 12-yard gain. Snap back to Riken Cross, and they bottle this one up pretty good. He does make his way to about the 26-yard line. So a 4-yard gain thereabouts for Riken Cross on the swinging gate.
Here they go again.
Doing it again.
Bender.
This time Bender's in the shotgun formation, and Riken Cross goes to the right side of Bender. They'll hand it off to Cross. Finding a seam up the middle, has the first down at the 35-yard line. So Howe showing a lot of different looks here in the second quarter. Callisburg's trying to figure out. 1st and 10.
I like it. They just hadn't been able to get the offense going here this first half. And a couple of different looks, able to get them a first down and just kind of keep the Callisburg defense on their heels.
They're trying to get some sort of a spark out of this offense.
Well, and remember, Howe also gets the ball to start the second half. So if you can hold the ball, score here, tie the game, go into halftime, and then score coming out, you can get a kind of a 2-for-1 per se.
Howe will have a normal formation this time as Strong split out wide right with Cross in the slot. Snap back, handoff, Knox Bounds, left side, tripped up after about a 3-yard gain.
Knox Bounds, number 5.
To the 43-yard line.
Gain of 4 on the play.
And maybe that spark they had, it seemed like this offensive line is starting to get a little bit of a push now. And some holes are starting to develop here for Bounds and Cross.
Game is slowing down. 4:07 on the clock, maybe designed by Howe. The play clock at 14. They now come to the line of scrimmage. Strong and Cross on the right side. Bender Low snap, digs it out, handoff, knocks bounds, escapes a couple of defenders, has a first down
Knocks
run.
bounds up the middle.
Right at the 45-yard line, they'll
First
move the
down.
sticks. So Howe's trying to methodically drive their way down the field from the 10, now at the 45. And a new set of downs with 3:47 on the clock.
Yeah, there has not been anything in between the tackles until this drive.
Howe has one timeout left, but they're going to have a 2-minute warning coming up soon. Cross now will go split out wide to the left. Knox Bounds has full duty now, as Bender's going to keep it around the left edge. He's trapped at the line of scrimmage. Might have lost a yard. They'll spot it at the 44.
Quarterback keeper on the play.
As Bounds with Rogers out.
No gain. Second down.
Has got a lot of work to do tonight.
No, I was just thinking, I was like, now who's the backup running back if Bounds or if Rogers isn't in there? Because Bounds just takes up more carries.
I think it's going to take a lot to keep Knox Bounds out of the lineup or off the field tonight.
Maybe where you see more rack and cross.
Second down and 10, man in motion. Handoff to Knox Bounds, breaks free. He's off to the races to the 40, gets a great block for a moment, but trips over the turf at the 35-yard line. He might have tripped over Ryland Strong's shoe, as Strong was showing a great block in the middle of the field, and all of a sudden, right in that area, Bounds went down.
Love the running back. Love the vision by Knox Bounds, and just the balance. He doesn't go down. I mean, he's a power back, but I mean, he doesn't, not like a bowling ball or anything, but just has good balance to keep himself up.
First and 10, left to right from the Callisburg 36-yard line. Snap back, handoff, Bounds through the middle again. Look out, 25-yard line. Another first down.
Once again, Knox Bounds.
And we'll see if they try to hurry up and snap it before the 2-minute warning, but they're going to get a timeout here. Who called that timeout?
No timeout.
No timeout called, okay.
They may just let it go down the 2-minute
I think
warning.
they're just going to let it go down. There's 2:03, 2:02, 2:01, 2-minute warning. We're going to take a quick timeout as Callisburg leads 7-0, but Howe's on the march. We'll be right back.
It's that time of year again where our beloved radio guy won't shut his trap about how hot it is up here in the press box. Thankfully, the good people at Baker Air Conditioning and Heating cool this thing down in no time.
Roger, we're dying over here.
Speaking of hot air, there he is. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been serving the community of Howe for nearly 60 years. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating is located on Highway 5, and you can call them at 903-532-6255.
Roger!
Anchors with a Z Boat and RV Storage is located 1 mile off of U.S. Highway 75 in Howe, Texas. Anchors Boat and RV Storage is proud to bring personal, small-town customer service to the growing area of North Texas. With both open and covered parking available, locally owned and operated, members of the Howe Area Chamber of Commerce and the Texas Self-Storage Association. Anchors Boat and RV Storage has 20 amp power available and is manager occupied at 311 Old Highway 6 in Howe. Visit anchorsboatrvstorage.com or call 903-444-2500.
First and 10 for Howe as they come back on the field. Aiden Torres breaks the huddle, comes to the line of scrimmage. Bounds to the right side of Deacon Bender, man in motion. Handoff to Bounds, left side. Trying to bounce out of a tackle, spins out of another one, but caught right at the line of scrimmage. Some fancy moves by Bounds, but couldn't escape the third hit. And we'll go down, and we're about to have the 11th play of the drive coming up for Howe. That started at their own 10-yard line.
You got to come away with points. You're starting to enter into this red zone where the Bulldogs have had problems all season long.
You say?
Yeah, I say. I probably shouldn't say.
Second down and 10. Handoff again. This is the Knox Bounds show. Breaks out, breaks another tackle. Finally hit after about a 5-yard gain to the 20.
Knox Bounds.
He's just so hard to tackle. He had his knees cut out from under him on that last carry, and he's slow to get up.
He's got to be tired.
Got to be. It's going to be a face mask against Callisburg. So Howe's going to be in great shape right here at about the 5-yard line.
The result of the play is a first down.
I mean, they're getting gift wrap penalties tonight. I mean, a lot of 15-yarders.
Bounds is trying to carry this whole black and white nation on his back on this drive.
and he'll sub out here. And in goes Garibay and Caden Thomas. Charles Furr into the game as Howe's taking their time. 16 on the play clock, 1:20 left to go before the half. It'll be an empty back with Bender. Drops back 3 steps, rolls right. Somebody in his face, and he's going to be sacked back at the 20-yard line.
That's what you didn't need. You never need a sack, but right there in the red zone.
Every time Callisburg has a 15-yard penalty, they follow back up with a sack.
They make up for it. You got to remember, the field shrinks now, being so close to the end zone.
And there's Howe was in great shape. Now Bender's going to throw it lofty down the field in the front quarter of the end zone. It falls incomplete. It's 3rd and goal from the 20 now.
Passes incomplete.
I think there's a miscommunication, but that was a decent pass if Cross would have looked back. Hit right about the goal line, but I think Cross
got crossed.
Either lost in the lights or it was a miscommunication on the route.
I think he just completely missed it. I don't think he saw the ball at all. It was a little behind him, but if he had just turned around and seen it, if he had been able to make a play on the ball, he might have been able to come down with that one.
Bounds back in the game on 3rd down and 20, and this is 4-down territory, I would imagine. He's getting the handoff here, bounces it out to the left side, tries to escape the last shoestring tackle and can't do it. Got to the 15, did pick up 5.
Picking up 2
the
on play.
15th play of the drive coming up for Howe. And it'll be 4th and goal from the 15. 16 rather.
Layla Brasher able to just a shoestring tackle. I mean, we saw from the way up here, if he wasn't able to get that tackle, I think he could have got to the end zone.
Callisburg's going to take a timeout.
Called by
34 seconds left to go before the half. Is that right?
Yes.
Let's keep it right here. Malin, roll back in the trick bag or whatever you think can pull out a 16, 17-yard touchdown right here for Howe.
Listen, I don't even know what kind of trick bag needs to be pulled out here. This is kind of a do-or-die situation for this game, so I don't know what kind of hoodoo-voodoo tricks the Deer Creek dealer has, or if he just wants to kick a field goal and get points on board. That's a totally valid option too, but let's see what he does after this timeout.
So the ball right now is at the 16-yard line. If they did send the second baseman, Fernando Sanchez, out, we're looking at about a 32 or 3-yard field goal.
If he's got the leg, I would almost take the point.
It looks like that's what they're going to do.
They're going to attempt that.
Well, in a game where the defenses have kind of dominated, I mean, you kind of think the points are...
Take what you can get right now.
They're going to spot the tee at the 24-yard line from the left hash. Reich and Cross will hold. Don't forget about that. 34 seconds left from the left hash. A 34-yard field goal attempt. Sanchez's kick is long enough, I believe, and it is good. It sneaks over. And Howe is on the board with 33 seconds remaining before the half. And they'll get the football first to start the second half. The second baseman has a leg.
A seeing eye single on the left side. But I have to tell you, it was a line drive right down the rope, right down the middle.
I mean, I don't think that could have been like an inch lower. It was right over the crossbar.
It was right down Broadway, but yeah, it was a cruise missile going over the crossbar.
Your Kingdom Inflatable scoring drive recap. Get this. 15 plays, 90 yards for actually, you don't get credit for the full 90. You only get credit from the 16.
Okay.
So that would be 26, 74-yard drive.
But you took a lot of time off the clock. You came back with points, not what you wanted, but you got points on the board.
So now the defense has just got to hold, send them to halftime. They get the ball to start the second half, and we have got a football game.
That drive took 5 minutes and 16 seconds off the clock.
Methodical drive.
And now for your Tech Wave kickoff, it'll be Keelan Davis with 33 seconds remaining. About 2 yards away from the ball at an angle.
Going to kick it to the right side of the field. It's going to bounce right to Walker, who takes it at the 34-yard line, and he's met hard. Back to the 30. They're giving forward progress to the 37 somehow. I don't think at any time he got to the 37. But that's where they'll spot the ball.
37-yard line.
28 seconds on the clock.
Well, you said McAdams has an arm.
Well, he overshot Hammer down the field earlier in the game. He can fire it. Now, accuracy, I don't know. But he can loft it.
Do you take a chance? And
I think Scattaboo McAdams might win the punt, pass, and kick award
he
tonight.
would, yeah.
1st and 10, right to left. McAdams goes under center. McKnight in the backfield. They'll hand it off to him on the right side. Escapes one defender, maybe a yard. And he'll be brought down there. Clock rolls at 19 seconds. They'll give him 2 yards to the 39-yard line.
That'll be the last one of the half.
I don't show any signs or any indications that they're going to run another play. 5-4, that's the end of the first half. We've got a good one. We thought we'd have a good one tonight, and we do. If it weren't for the very second play of the game that went 59 yards to set up the first score,
Bulldogs 3, Wildcats
Howe would have a
7.
3-point lead right now at the half. But it's 7-3 Callisburg, and we've got a great halftime show for you. Lady Bulldogs spotlight is Laney Boyd. She's a freshman, and she does not sound like a freshman at all. She sounds like a seasoned veteran. And that group, those freshmen are very impressive on that Lady Bulldogs volleyball squad. And they're going to be pretty good here in the upcoming years. The Lady Bulldogs have not been very good for a long time. But they're going to be good here coming up. So we've got a great halftime show. Also Landon Smith, our bandsman of the week, and we'll see you on the backside.
This is Roger Tidwell, the PA dude here at Bulldog Stadium. The radio guys and I always fight over how hot and cold it is up here in the press box. But if the AC ever quit working, not only would Walker finally shut his trap, he would call Baker Air Conditioning and Heating. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been in Howe for over 50 years. They've been in business that long because they're just good people. Call 903-532-6255. That's 903-532-6255. Shut up, Monty.
Anchors with a Z Boat and RV Storage is located 1 mile off of U.S. Highway 75 in Howe, Texas. Anchors Boat and RV Storage is proud to bring personal, small-town customer service to the growing area of North Texas. With both open and covered parking available, locally owned and operated, members of the Howe Area Chamber of Commerce and the Texas Self-Storage Association. Anchors Boat and RV Storage has 20 amp power available and is manager occupied at 311 Old Highway 6 in Howe. Visit anchorsboatrvstorage.com or call 903-444-2500.
Buying and or selling your next home or property should be an enjoyable experience. At Texoma Land and Home Team, our commitment to the personal relationship of each transaction ensures communication you expect, while assuring that we'll be here the next time you need us. We're not a big box real estate company by design. This freedom allows us to be fully at your service. Texoma Land and Home Team, Renee Nichols Broker, 903-818-1645. Texoma Land and Home Team, for all your real estate needs, 903-818-1645.
All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights is proud to sponsor the Pride of Howe High School's Bandsman of the Week. Your hometown Bulldog alumni owned and operated business is here for all your seamless gutter and outdoor Christmas lights needs. Give them a call at 903-819-9183 and let them make your house shine really bright this Christmas. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights. Give them a call at 903-819-9183. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights.
You're listening to the Baker Air Conditioning and Heating Halftime Show. Today's Bandsman of the Week is brought to you by All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights, a firefighter family-owned business. Call them at 903-819-9183. Now let's join Monty Walker with this week's Bandsman of the Week.
This week's Bandsman of the Week is Landon Smith. Now, when did you start school in Howe?
I started school in Howe in 4th grade.
And where were you before that?
I was in Sherman.
Is there a difference really in Sherman and Howe?
I mean, really just like the amount of people and like, I guess like kind of different culture, I guess.
When did you start in the band program?
In 5th or 6th grade.
So you're a baritone now. How did that come about?
And I started out as trombone, and I was like, I don't really like this one. I think I'm gonna switch over to the baritone.
Do you have a favorite teacher at Howe High School?
Probably either Miss Taylor or Miss McCall right now.
And what is it about those two?
I can joke around with them a lot, and also they taught me really well and are teaching me really well. So yeah.
Miss Liz says you can be a little bit of a distraction at times, that you want to have a good time, and you just talked about that, joking around a little bit. What is it that you do?
I mainly just try to joke around, keep other people like happy, and then like try to like keep the people around me in high spirits and high morale, so we don't get like low and then we don't like bury ourselves, I guess.
You're listening to the All-In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights Bandsman of the Week, Landon Smith. We'll be right back.
All-In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights is proud to sponsor the pride of Howe High School's Bandsman of the Week. Your hometown Bulldog alumni-owned and operated business is here for all your seamless gutter and outdoor Christmas lights needs. Give them a call at 903-819-9183 and let them make your house shine really bright this Christmas. All-In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights. Give them a call at 903-819-9183. All-In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights.
You're listening to the All-In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights Bandsman of the Week, Landon Smith. Now, Miss Liz also says that you really want the band program to succeed and takes correction and criticism and works to be better. It sounds like you do take this thing seriously.
Yes, I do.
Tell us about this year's show.
It's obviously the elements of art. It's really cool. We've accomplished so much already, and I can't wait to see what more we can accomplish.
Now, do you have a pretty significant part in this show, do you not?
Yes, I do.
Talk about that.
My solo this year is a lot of pressure. It's like the opening. If I mess up, then other people in the band will mess up and be like, well, this run's already messed up, so I have to like come out here, play pretty well, and do my best.
No pressure at all, right? This band keeps advancing and keeping the legacy alive. Is there any pressure at all when it comes to that?
Yeah, there definitely is, because even before me, my sister, she would always talk about how the pressure would be up because the people before her, and how it's just always been good at bands, so we got to keep that culture alive.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, you're not competing against Whitesboro and Collinsville, and you're competing against all those ghosts of the past. That has to be somewhat intimidating, I guess.
Yeah, that legacy really, it feels nice, and it feels nice to keep it going for the future generations.
Tell us about what this band has accomplished so far this year.
We've accomplished going to regionals, getting straight ones, and then going to area. I have a really good belief or hope that we could get top 2 area. I really believe we can.
You've been part of some really good bands here in the past. How does this one match up?
I think this is by far the best one, just because we already have already playing music really, really well, marching really, really good. We already have only 1 or 2 people, and not even each section that we could work on, but yeah.
Is Mr. Shank here all year, or is this new when it gets down to competition time?
He's here all year from the beginning of band camp. He comes up to some practices, really helps us with our tone, helps us with how we play, dynamics and stuff like that.
Does everybody understand the significance and the legendary of Mr. Shank?
I don't think they do. Even sometimes I can be like, wow, this is a lot, man. But he really is really, really good at what he does. He really has an ear for sound. It's really interesting.
Today's Bandsman of the Week is brought to you by All-In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights, a firefighter family-owned business. Call them at 819-9183. You're listening to the Baker Air Conditioning and Heating Halftime Show.
All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights is proud to sponsor the pride of Howe High School's Bandsman of the Week. Your hometown Bulldog alumni owned and operated business is here for all your seamless gutter and outdoor Christmas lights needs. Give them a call at 903-819-9183 and let them make your house shine really bright this Christmas. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights. Give them a call at 903-819-9183. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights.
It's that time of year again where our beloved radio guy won't shut his trap about how hot it is up here in the press box. Thankfully, the good people at Baker Air Conditioning and Heating cool this thing down in no time.
Roger, we're dying over here.
Speaking of hot air, there he is. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been serving the community of Howe for nearly 60 years. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating is located on Highway 5, and you can call them at 903-532-6255.
Roger! From tailgate to touchdown, South State is here to ensure your financial game plan leads you to victory. With cutting-edge digital tools like contactless payment, digital wallet, and more, your financial plays become seamless and convenient. As your trusted banking partner, South State is committed to supporting you every step of the way, providing expert guidance and dedicated assistance on your financial journey. This is Banking Forward, South State Bank. Member FDIC.
Anchors with a Z Boat and RV Storage is located 1 mile off of U.S. Highway 75 in Howe, Texas. Anchors Boat and RV Storage is proud to bring personal, small-town customer service to the growing area of North Texas. With both open and covered parking available, locally owned and operated, members of the Howe Area Chamber of Commerce and the Texas Self-Storage Association. Anchors Boat and RV Storage has 20 amp power available and is manager occupied at 311 Old Highway 6 in Howe. Visit anchorsboatrvstorage.com or call 903-444-2500.
You're listening to the Baker Air Conditioning and Heating Halftime Show. Let's join Monty Walker with the Anchors Boat and RV Storage Lady Bulldog Spotlight.
This week's Lady Bulldog Spotlight is freshman Lainey Boyd. When did you start school and how?
I started in kindergarten.
Do you have any memories of elementary school?
When my kindergarten teacher got us a rabbit as our class pet.
Did you name it?
His name was Snickers.
Snickers, all right. When did you start playing volleyball?
I started in 4th grade.
And what do you remember about 4th grade volleyball?
It was really cool because I was surrounded by all these girls that have already been playing since like 1st grade, and I was kind of just new, but the tallest one on the team, so was kind of just expected like, oh, she's going to be so good, and then just a lot. But we did end up getting 3rd in our end of season tournament, so that was pretty cool.
How tall are you?
Right now I'm 5'9".
That's pretty tall, especially for a freshman. Is it hard fitting in as a freshman, or was it in the beginning?
In the beginning, yeah, because I kind of felt like I had all these spots I had to fill, and I had to mature a little bit quicker than most, because playing with the older kids, it's like all these things that we got to do in middle school, like they don't slide here in high school, and you just really had to change a lot of things that like I did in the beginning, but now it's fine.
How's Coach Lambert?
Coach Lambert is really good. He definitely knows what he's talking about. Definitely is setting us up for a really bright future in volleyball. I think that it's really good that we have a coach like this, because in the past, Howe volleyball hasn't been the greatest. And I think with him, we could definitely make history.
So you're a freshman. Has there been any classroom adjustment from middle school?
Big time. There's definitely a lot more homework that I have to deal with. I don't have as much off time as I did in middle school. I'm definitely having to prioritize a lot of things, and just having to realize like I have to prioritize my main and big things, and I can't just be lazy and slack off and procrastinate.
Do you have a favorite teacher?
My favorite teacher is Miss Dobbs, my Spanish teacher.
And why is that?
She's always just there, and she's very helpful. She doesn't judge if you mess up. She always offers extra help, and she's just a really, really good teacher.
You're listening to the Anchors Boat and RV Storage Lady Bulldog Spotlight with Laney Boyd. We'll be right back.
Anchors with a Z Boat and RV Storage is located 1 mile off of U.S. Highway 75 in Howe, Texas. Anchors Boat and RV Storage is proud to bring personal, small-town customer service to the growing area of North Texas. With both open and covered parking available, locally owned and operated, members of the Howe Area Chamber of Commerce and the Texas Self-Storage Association. Anchors Boat and RV Storage has 20 amp power available and is manager-occupied at 311 Old Highway 6 in Howe. Visit anchorsboatrvstorage.com or call 903-444-2500.
You're listening to the Anchors Boat and RV Storage Lady Bulldog Spotlight with Laney Boyd. The volleyball program's future looks very bright. We've got a lot, some freshmen, you got some sophomores. Talk about that.
Our freshman class coming up, I definitely think that we have made a big difference, and I think that the grades coming up later on will definitely help make a very big difference. The sophomores right now are also very good. They're very helpful. I think we just have so much talent present in Howe High School and coming up into Howe High School where we definitely could make history and make a very big change in the program.
In your life, who's someone you look up to?
I look up to my mom and my sister. I look up to my mom because she's just someone that never gives up. If something is bothering her, she doesn't let it show. She pushes past. And then I look up to my sister because she just doesn't let any negative things define her. And if she does something, she just moves past it. She's also very kind and generous, and I just look up to them both so much.
We'll talk about, you brought up your sister. Do you have any other siblings?
I have a younger brother in kindergarten. His name's Landry. And then I have 2 older sisters, Katie and Emily. They don't go to school here. They go to school in San Antonio, but definitely still love them, and I still see them.
What other activities are you involved with at Howe High School?
I'm in basketball. I'm very excited for that. I think this year we, again, have a chance to make history. And again, with just the freshman class and all the other classes coming up, I definitely think we can make a very big change to basketball.
I know you're only a freshman, but have you thought about life after Howe High School for Laney Boyd?
I really want to go play volleyball somewhere. I'd like to go to college out of state, and then I want to go to school to become a physical therapist.
How far is out of state?
Just really anywhere I can get into. I've always dreamed about going to Nebraska since 5th grade to play volleyball, and because they have a really good doctorate program.
All right, that's your Lady Bulldog Spotlight with freshman Laney Boyd.
Tonight's Lady Bulldog Spotlight has been brought to you by Anchors Boat and RV Storage. You're listening to the Baker Air Conditioning and Heating Halftime Show.
This is more than a bundle. This is way more than a combo deal. It's your sanctuary, your home field. It's where everything happens. This is your home, your car, your memories. And you want to be sure they're protected with home and auto insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. That's why I'm here to help life go right. My name is Ed Meacham, and I'm your Howe State Farm agent. Give me a call at 903-892-3923 or on the web at mredinsurance.com.
Buying and or selling your next home or property should be an enjoyable experience. At Texoma Land and Home Team, our commitment to the personal relationship of each transaction ensures communication you expect, while assuring that we'll be here the next time you need us. We're not a big box real estate company by design. This freedom allows us to be fully at your service. Texoma Land and Home Team, Renee Nichols Broker, 903-818-1645. Texoma Land and Home Team, for all your real estate needs, 903-818-1645.
No one wants to talk about losing a loved one. The grief that is put on your family is troublesome. Scoggins Funeral Home strives to make that most difficult time the easiest. We want your loved one to be sent off in the best way possible, with your wishes at heart. Call us at 903-482-5225 or visit our website at scogginsfuneralhome.com.
903-482-5225. Our location on Van Alstyne Parkway makes everything close for your needs. 903-482-5225. Scoggins Funeral Home.
This is Roger Tidwell, the PA dude here at Bulldog Stadium. The radio guys and I always fight over how hot and cold it is up here in the press box. But if the AC ever quit working, not only would Walker finally shut his trap, he would call Baker Air Conditioning and Heating. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been in Howe for over 50 years. They've been in business that long because they're just good people. Call 903-532-6255. That's 903-532-6255. Shut up, Monty.
You're listening to the Baker Air Conditioning and Heating Halftime Show. Now let's go back to the stadium with Justin White, Malin Walker, Jake Roberts, and Stephen Braswell.
Welcome back. 7-3 at the half. Callisburg in the lead. Jake Roberts alongside Malin Walker. You can hear the Howe band performing in the background. But Malin, just what are some thoughts on this first half of football? Pretty good one we got going on here.
Yeah, it's a good game. The first thing that really stands out to me is the penalties this game. You know, Howe has really cleaned it up. They had that one, false start that really shot him in the foot.
It was a bad false start.
But other than that, Howe has really cleaned up this first half compared to other games. Now, flip that with the other team who has around 5 or 6 penalties, costly might I add, and that has really led to this low-scoring first half.
Yeah, for sure. And I think another thing that's led to that is both defenses have played pretty well, aside from Howe's one. I think they gave up, a 59-yard run on the second play of the game. But other than that, Howe's defense has held up pretty well. And that last drive, Howe might have found something with Knox Bounds if they can continue to just kind of, ground and pound with him and get in the red zone. I think that's certainly something that we talked about pregame, and that is certainly going to be a big deal going forward. I mean, I know they got 3 on the board, but how much better would that have looked if they would have been able to sneak that in the red zone? But yeah, what do you think Howe needs to do to get into the red zone, or to get in to the end zone when they're in the red zone? Because it seems like they can score long touchdowns, but what's the block for a team that's just struggling like that in the red zone?
I think what you really need to focus on is the run game. Listen, Knox is the type of runner that's only going to get better the more tired a defense is. Also, second, if you're taking a sack, that will kill your drive in the red zone. You're taking a 15-yard sack, and now it's second and, 25?
Yeah.
That's really not something that can happen if you want to expect a reliable conversion in the red zone.
Yeah, that's certainly not something you want to see. But I think we'll take a quick break, and then we'll be back for some stats with Braz.
No one wants to talk about losing a loved one. The grief that is put on your family is troublesome. Scoggins Funeral Home strives to make that most difficult time the easiest. We want your loved one to be sent off in the best way possible, with your wishes at heart. Call us at 903-482-5225 or visit our website at scogginsfuneralhome.com. 903-482-5225. Our location on Van Alstyne Parkway makes everything close for your needs. 903-482-5225. Scoggins Funeral Home.
Who's your local plumber? Brother Plumber. It's good to know someone local and someone you can trust when your home or office drops the ball.
Mainline break, 15 yards.
Brother Plumber is plumb professional and serves not only Howe, but also all of Grayson County. And you can save yourself 10% if you mention Go Bulldogs. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. We'd love to help. Brother Plumber is one call away at 469-968-4487. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. Remember, Go Bulldogs.
Welcome back. Callisburg on top of Howe, 7-3 at the break. Time for a little bit of stats with Stephen Braswell. Go ahead and take it away.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There's not a whole lot of stats so far in a 7-3 game. Don't have a whole lot going on, but team stat-wise for Howe, passing, Bender is 2 for 8 for 7 yards. In the 7 yards, we'll find out in a second. There's 2 separate receivers on that 7 yards, so it's not just like one.
Yeah.
Rushing-wise, 21 rushes, 66 yards. So total 73 yards in the first half. penalty-wise, there's only one penalty for 5 yards. So far, and that was a false start during that drive.
Yeah, that's a big change.
It was
what we've seen.
Exactly. Let's keep that up. For Callisburg, team-wise, Scatterdoodle.
So you're looking at Bowen McAdams.
Yeah, he's 0 for 2. So hadn't completed any passes. They do have 18 rushes for 108 yards, and with the big one being the big 56-yarder. And they've got 5 penalties for 47 yards.
Yeah, that's been kind of a storyline that we've kind of been on the opposite side of.
Exactly.
And we're now finally kind of seeing the rewards of what it's like for a team to kind of shoot themselves in the foot with big penalties. Like, I mean, they've had personal fouls and stuff that have really kept Howe moving and
they've
in
had
business.
2 15-yard penalties.
Yeah.
So 108 yards total. So individual-wise for Howe, rushing, Bounds has 12 rushes for 72 yards, Cross 3 for 13, and Bender, he's got 6 for -19, but he's had some sacks in there too. Receiving-wise, we already mentioned he completed 2 passes. Caden Thomas is 1 for 6 yards, and Cross 1 for 3 yards.
And the Cross one, I believe, was just like a jet sweep forward. So
yeah,
really
exactly.
only one real completed pass.
Exactly.
For the Bulldogs.
For Callisburg, rushing-wise, Barnett's got 8 for 6 for 82 with a touchdown, and that's 56 all at once on that. McKnight, 3 for 13. McAdams, 3 for 9. And Zinski, 4 rushes for 4 yards. Passing rise, like I mentioned earlier, McAdams, 0 for 2. So that's what we got so far for the first half.
Well, I think we'll go to a quick break, and then we'll come back with some highlights of this low-scoring first half. We'll be back.
At Grayson Cullen Electric Cooperative, GCEC, we have been around for over 80 years and are governed by 7 principles: open and voluntary membership, democratic member control, members' economic participation, autonomy and independence, education, training, and information, cooperation among cooperatives, and concern for community. One of our communities is Howe, Texas, and GCEC is proud to support the Howe Bulldogs.
This is Bulldogs head coach Jake Smith, and it didn't take me long to get to know where Sonic of Howe is. After practice or games, I like to head down to 105 North Collins Freeway, grab a burger, tots, and a shake. As a matter of fact, I like to say, it's Sonic time in Texas.
Yeah, Coach, that's kind of my thing.
Oh, okay. How about Sonic really brings the hammer down?
Coach, that's kind of my thing.
With Sonic, I'm highly motivated, truly dedicated.
Yeah, Coach, that's another one of my lines.
How about this? It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Yeah, I like that.
Welcome back to Bulldog Stadium. Monty Walker along with Jake Roberts. We've got halftime highlights for you. Let's recap this first half. Not a lot of scoring as it's 7-3 here at the half. Y'all went over some halftime scores, did you not? And
we actually did not, yeah, because Justin usually goes through those.
Okay. The one shock, I guess, around District 7 3A Division 2 is Gunner was leading Blue Ridge, no shock there, but 7-6.
Yeah,
that is kind of a shock.
That was the beginning of the second quarter. Looks like it's now 14-6 Gunners.
So let's go through these real quick. Callisburg took the ball first. They scored 46 seconds into the game on a 2-yard touchdown. Goes McAdams. He'll toss it again and easily strolling in the end zone. Once again is Tegan Barnett on that made it 7-0. Howe in the lead. Callisburg in the lead. And then it was a turnover on downs by Howe. A punt by Callisburg. A punt. Let's see. Punt by Callisburg, a punt by Howe, and now my board has messed up. How do I do this? This is not working for me. So, punt, turnover on downs, punt, and then Howe drove 15 plays, 74 yards, and scored on a 34
4-yard field goal by the second baseman, Fernando Sanchez. Sanchez's kick is long enough, I believe, and it is good. It sneaks over. And Howe is on the board with 33 seconds remaining before the half. And they'll get the football first to start the second half. 7-3, Callisburg in the lead, 33 seconds remaining in the second half, and here we are about to start this second half. And the Tech Wave kickoff will be performed by Callisburg. And Sam Wilson will do the kicking. Back deep to return this thing will be Ryken Cross and Ryland Strong, maybe the two most dangerous returners in the region. And it's going to be Caden Thomas who's going to take it. And he'll run to the middle of the field at the 38-yard line. That's got to feel good for Caden Thomas, as 2 games ago he had 3 miscues, but not right there.
Yeah, be able to field it cleanly and get a decent return and give the Bulldogs good field position to start off.
To a 5th quarter tomorrow.
So Howe will start from their own 39-yard line.
At the First Baptist Church here in town. 5th quarter tomorrow night at 8:30, First Baptist Church.
So here come the Dogs on 1st and 10. And not much doing there on first down. Knox Bounds got the carry, got back to the line of scrimmage. And they'll give him a yard to the 40.
Gain of about a half a yard on the play. Second down.
So we're trying to update our scoreboard, but now we're having computer mishaps. So
problems with your tablet, problems with your computer.
Yeah.
We need a bye week, don't we?
We do.
Luckily, we get that tonight.
Okay, well, that's malfunctioning, so I'm not sure that we'll be able to update our scoreboard. Here's Bender going to throw it to Strong and brings the catch in, down at the 50. And he's shoestring tackled, or he would have gone to the house at the 44-yard line. And he gets up.
First down.
Not putting any weight on his left ankle, he hobbles off to the sidelines. That would be a tremendous loss for Howe.
Man, he had to loft. Bender had to loft that over the defensive line coming at him for the screen. And it seemed like it took forever to get to Strong, and Strong made a good adjustment in the air to bring it down. And he had a full head of steam on him.
So ball at the 44-yard line. Man goes in motion as the Mad Honduran. Here's Knox Bounds trying to pick and choose a little hole over to the left side, and does
Number
for about
5, Knox Bounds.
2 or 3 yards to the 43-yard line.
Showing some good patience getting behind Gavin Snap, I believe, is over there at left guard. Being patient, waiting for that block to materialize.
So it's 2nd down and 7. 10:21 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Howe has snapped that ball. Or Torres. Malin, you would have snapped that ball, would you not have?
Yeah, just snap that ball and take the easy 5 yards. Maybe throw a deep ball just to see what you can get.
Zinski came across the line of scrimmage and was about 2 yards deep in the backfield, and it still was not snapped.
I know.
That was maybe the greatest thing that our sideline guy was really, really good about.
Snapping that ball as soon as somebody crossed over.
So it's 2nd down and 2. And, yeah, Haley got a lot of touchdowns off of that free play. The Mad Honduran and in motion. Here's a handoff to Knox Bounds again. He'll have the first down.
Knox Bounds
at the 34-yard line.
Down yardage.
Bounds didn't have to hit the hole hard. He just kind of got behind his guard and just kind of tiptoed through behind the blocker and just got enough to get the first down. And it wasn't tiptoe like he was scared of anything. He was just falling right behind his blocker.
So it's 1st and 10 for Howe as they've looking pretty good on this first series drive, moving the football. 9:23 on the clock. Man in motion, Charlie Furr, handoff, Knox Bounds, left side, breaks through the middle for a minute, spins out of a tackle down to the 22-yard line.
Knox Bounds once again picking up
12-yard gain for Knox Bounds, and he's busting the sticks all the way down the sideline.
He's been basically absent the last couple of games. just because there's not been a lot of blocking up front, but he is getting some big gashes here against this defense for Callisburg.
1st and 10 from the middle of the field. Bender wants it with Bounds to his right. Handoff Bounds. Bounces it out to the far side, cuts inside, head-on collision at the 15-yard line. And they'll say the 16, so give Knox Bounds another 6 yards.
Using Charles Furrow as a lead
Gain of
blocker.
4 on the play. Knox Bounds, runner.
And then Bounds doing a good job of bouncing it outside when nothing's there. Using some of his power and speed to get 5 yards. He's getting 5, 6, 7 yards a pop here.
2nd down and 6 coming up for the Bulldogs. Same formation. This time Cross comes in motion. He gets the toss coming near side. Can't break out of about 6, and now
Cross, number 3.
Michael Hammer drives him all the way back to the 30-yard line, but forward progress obviously is near the line of scrimmage, maybe to the 17-yard line. Might have lost a yard.
And I was just thinking before that snap, I thought, has Bounds carried the ball every play on this drive?
Well, he almost did on the 15-play drive.
Well, aside from the screen pass to Ryland Strong, who is back in the game, by the way.
So finally was able to give Bounds a break.
Bender on 3rd and 5. Handoff, Bounds, hit at the line of scrimmage, spins out of that tackle, still fighting forward. If it's 4-down territory again, Bulldogs are only going to need about 3 yards as they'll spot it at the 15-yard line.
Once again, the ball carrier.
I say you go for it here.
Brings up a couple.
Deer Creek Dealer, do what you do.
On the play. 4th down.
Deer Creek Dealer. It is that time. It's Deer Creek Dealer time.
Now fans trying to get on their feet.
4th down and 3.
Trying to draw them off sides.
Bender went under center, and Callisburg did not flinch. So now they look to the sideline for the play. On 4th and 3. Play clock at 1, they'll call a timeout. And they'll talk about it on 4th and 3.
Timeout called by
Let's keep it here. Malin, what are the Howe Bulldogs are going to do on 4th and 3? If you were the OC.
If I was the OC and I had Knox Bounds in my backfield, I would probably just give it to him. That would be the most surefire bet I could see into getting 3 yards. You can pass it, maybe even a little screen, but other than that, just get your 3 yards and get the 1st down.
6:43, Jake.
I mean, do you consider a field goal here? I know that it's 4th and short.
I think you consider it.
It'd only be a yard shorter than the last field goal, which barely.
Right, that's true.
By the hair of its chinny chin snuck over.
But your defense is playing well. I don't know.
There's still a lot of football left to be played.
I just want to see a field goal hit the bottom of the crossbar again, so we get another explanation and a
Kawhi Leonard
adjective from Malin.
I don't see Fernando Sanchez out there.
I see a swinging gate. The Deer Creek Dealer. Here we go. Reich and Cross will get the snap. Running to the right side, trying to outrun everybody to the corner, does. Down the sideline, inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. The Deer Creek Dealer.
He just snapped it right out. Rocky Cross said, use your speed, get to the outside, and see you can outrun. And he ran about 4 or 5 white jersey. It was like one-on-1, maybe one-on-4, really.
Yeah, 1-on-4, and he just outran everyone.
He just needed 3, and he got maybe 4.
He stopped like a squirrel for just a moment and then took off sprinting, and you can't catch him. Bender back in the game at quarterback. Knox Bounds to his right, man in motion is the Mad Honduran. Handoff, Knox Bounds, met hard. Might have lost a yard back at the 11. They say Reich and Cross got out at the 10. So back to the 11-yard line. 2nd down and goal, and they're going backwards again.
They just, all year, they've stalled.
Yeah, that's happened all year. You get inside 1st and goal and go backwards.
Yeah, as soon as we get in these goal-to-go situations, the Bulldogs just haven't been able to convert. Let's see if they can do it here.
Throw it to Strong.
6:04 on the clock. Handoff, Bounds, right side. Finds a seam in the middle of the lane. Spinning towards the goal line, still fighting. He's in. It's touchdown time in Texas.
Knox Bounds, number 5. Touchdown Bulldogs.
voodoo that. It's over. They got inside the red zone and punched it in.
And it's fitting that Knox Bounds ends the drive with a touchdown. All those carries he had during this drive, it's only fitting that he's able to reward himself at the end. And the Bulldogs have a lead.
Sanchez to put the exclamation mark on this touchdown. Riken cross to hold. The snap is back. It's on the tee. The kick is up and blocked. Picking it up is Riken cross around the left edge. He's in! He scores! Riken cross as your holder has paid off.
Just like you drew it up.
And Howe has taken the lead. And it's 11-7 with 5:56 left to go in the third quarter.
And a great big shout out to the Bulldog offensive line.
We'll be back right after this timeout.
If your home or business could talk, what would it say? It may say it would like some privacy or security. Enjoy the beauty and durability of quality fencing from MTE Fence. MTE Fence is a local company specializing in commercial and residential fencing. MTE Fence ranges from wood, aluminum, and chain link fencing. MTE Fence services all of Grayson County and surrounding areas. Go to mtefence.com or call 903-686-9039 for an estimate. MTE Fence has a passion for connection. We are your connection for quality.
This is more than a bundle. This is way more than a combo deal. It's your sanctuary, your home field. It's where everything happens. This is your home, your car, your memories. And you want to be sure they're protected with home and auto insurance. As your State Farm agent, I get it. That's why I'm here to help life go right. My name is Ed Meacham, and I'm your Howe State Farm agent. Give me a call at 903-892-3923 or on the web at MrRedInsurance.com.
Your Tech Wave kickoff by Keelan Davis is going to be fielded by Zayden Deering, the sophomore, and he immediately takes a knee, so Callisburg will start from their own 41-yard line. Your Kingdom Inflatable scoring drive recap for Howe, 11 plays to open the second half. 63 yards, capped off by an 11-yard touchdown by Knox Leaps and Bounds. And the two-point conversion from Riken Cross on a bad snap. And here is first down run of almost nothing, maybe 1 yard. And on the carry, I believe, was Barnett, and it was.
This is when the defense needs to snap on that chin strap and answer the bell. You've got a lead, 11-7, less than 6 minutes to go in the third. Need to stop.
Second down and 9. Zinski goes in motion, now comes back to this side, toss to Barnett. That's actually McKnight trying to find the corner, does, and a first down run. Really the first big run for Callisburg since the second play of the game, down to the 37-yard line on the Howe side of the field.
Jaden Alcorn.
Yeah, that was a big run on the outside. Got a lane on the left side of the line. And you get these big guys going downhill, and they're hard to bring down.
So it's 1st and 10. And here's a handoff to Zinski around the right edge. Makes one man miss and brought down after a 7-yard gain to the 40-yard line.
Gabriel Zinski, the ball carrier for the Wildcats.
Zinski went in motion from the right to the left and then came back in the backfield, got the pitch, went the outside, lowered his shoulder at the end of that run. And again, they don't have a lot of fast backs, it's just a lot of big backs.
Second down and 4. And this will be an I formation. There's your I formation, offset I. Zinski gets the carry, running with force to the 25-yard line, and Callisburg all of a sudden moving the football down the field to the 25-yard line.
They're starting to get the 25-yard line. And they're seeing something on those outside runs. They're starting to see some lanes and some holes open up. And they're kind of running until you stop them.
Remember, Knox Bounds is out of the game on defense. And McAdams is going to try to keep it himself, but a penalty before this one can get underway. It's going to be a legal motion against false start against Callisburg. Scattaboo McAdams thought he had busted through and was on his way for a touchdown, but whistles negated that. Malin, that's got to be the first time in a while you've seen the Howe Bulldogs sidelines really get excited after that touchdown.
They're very excited. You know, sometimes you'll see even injured players get a little too excited. You know, you kind of worry about them, but you know, that's kind of the fun of it all.
We've got a bug in here. We got the door open. First and 15, behind the scenes. Here's a handoff of, once again, hit hard is Zinski. He did gain 3 yards, but it'll be second and long. Zinski paid the price for that 3.
That is something we've seen from the Bulldogs, is hitting. They hit hard. It seemed like harder than in recent years. They're not afraid to stick their nose in there.
3:05 on the clock as it continues to wind here in the third quarter. Callisburg with a 2nd and 12 coming up.
That clock runs, you got 2 teams that don't hardly throw the ball right now.
Barnett and McKnight in the backfield as Zinski goes in motion. Scattaboo McAdams wants to throw deep ball right side, and it's almost intercepted by Eli Stoner, who was in the area. The closest man to it had maybe his fingertips on it, but a little bit too far for even Stoner, who stands about 6'2" or 3. And it's 3rd down and 12.
And as soon as I said that nobody's thrown it, McAdams drops back and almost got it there to number 40, Evans. Also almost an interception by Stoner. So he put him in 3rd and long again.
We have an injury on the field. We'll take a quick timeout while the injured Bulldog is down. 11-7, Howe in the lead. We'll be right back.
From tailgate to touchdown, South State is here to ensure your financial game plan leads you to victory. With cutting-edge digital tools like contactless payment, digital wallet, and more, your financial plays become seamless and convenient. As your trusted banking partner, South State is committed to supporting you every step of the way, providing expert guidance and dedicated assistance on your financial journey. This is Banking Forward, South State Bank, member FDIC.
Hey, Steve here, the crazy AC guy. We raise top-notch AC units and train the...
Sorry about that. 3rd down coming up, and it was Jaden Alcorn, the injured Bulldog. 3rd and 12.
Big down.
2:46 on the clock. McKnight in the backfield. McAdams wants to throw. Pass coming the other way to Wilson, who breaks away. He broke the tackle of Fernando Sanchez and may have enough for a 1st down to about the 26-yard line, and that's where the stick, where he needed to get, and he's going to be a yard short, it appears. There's a
Michael Cross makes the tackle.
It's going to be 4th and 1.
Down and about a yard.
Boy, Sanchez had a chance to bring him down in the backfield.
He read it all the way. He saw what was coming, just couldn't finish the tackle.
4th and 1. McAdams will probably try to do it himself. No, he hands off to McKnight. Hit at the line of scrimmage.
I don't think he got that.
It's a turnover on downs. Howe has the football at the 26-yard line. What a stand by the Howe defense.
1st down for the Bulldogs.
And now Howe has another injured player down. But helping him to his feet is the Mad Honduran, and he's hopping on one leg.
Inside handoff, Jacob Griffo was there, the Mad Honduran. That big wall on the defensive line. Stepping up again. And Bulldogs getting basically, that's almost like a turnover.
That's twice in this game that the Bulldogs have stopped Callisburg on 4th and 3 or less.
Oh my goodness, my chart was all messed up now.
And our technology is not wanting to cooperate tonight.
No, it is not.
So Howe will have there's a flag, late flag, before the play, as Howe will start at their own 27. 1:59 on the clock.
Illegal substitution against Howe.
Illegal substitution is the call against Howe.
My goodness. That'll give me a chance to maybe get my board right.
You get a flag, and what did we say? That's the second flag of the night?
I believe that would be the second flag on the Bulldogs.
Bender gets it, handoff, knocks bounds, left side, and maybe 2.
Knocks bounds, gain of.
I didn't get to hear during stats with Raz how many handoffs Bounds had in the first half. But with Garrett Rogers out, he's having to take just a bulk of the carries.
And by bulk, do you mean all of them?
Yes. 99% of them.
Yeah.
They break the huddle.
Fast moving third quarter.
Man in motion. Handoff, Bounds, right side this time. Spins out of a tackle. And back to what was the original line of scrimmage, around the 27 or 28-yard line. They're playing catch on the far side with a ball.
I know, I see that too.
And every time I see it, I think a flag is thrown.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Me too. Yeah, they're throwing a ball, and it's right around the range of where you would see a flag come flying up.
Very distracting.
Somebody over there tell them kids stop playing ball over there.
Stop having fun. Don't you know this is a football game? Snap back to Bender. Drops back 3 steps, wants to fire. Deep ball. Ryland Strong in front of his defender, makes the catch at the 43 and goes out of bounds, or he would have been gone. He signals first down. There's no flag, and he'll be out of bounds at the 34-yard line. He had Deering beat by 3 steps.
Right there in coverage. I mean, we've been looking at that all night long of just one-on-one coverage. Sometimes the safety comes over and help, but he wasn't there that time. And the quarterback was on an island all on his own.
Well, and what a throw by Bender as well.
Yes,
I don't
drop
think
in the bucket.
I don't think you can give enough credit for the catch and the throw on that.
Absolutely.
Handoff, knocks bounds, left side, cuts it in, 4 yards, 3 yards to the 31-yard line.
Gain of 3 on the play.
And I think with that completion, that kind of makes the defense, just be a little bit more aware and keep them honest.
Well, that's complimentary football to
run, set up the pass.
So, yeah, kind of pull from Jason Garrett.
Right. All you need is a kickoff return for all 3 phases.
Yes.
The timeout been called?
End of the third.
End of the third. We'll take a 30-second timeout. We'll be back right after this.
Anchors with a Z Boat and RV Storage is located 1 mile off of U.S. Highway 75 in Howe, Texas. Anchors Boat and RV Storage is proud to bring personal, small-town customer service to the growing area of North Texas. With both open and covered parking available, locally owned and operated, members of the Howe Area Chamber of Commerce and the Texas Self-Storage Association. Anchors Boat and RV Storage has 20 amp power available and is manager occupied at 311 Old Highway 6 in Howe. Visit anchorsboatrvstorage.com or call 903-444-2500.
Our scoreboard is not correct. It's malfunctioning. So let me remind you that Howe leads 11-7. We're entering the fourth quarter here. And they have the football at the Callisburg 31-yard line, facing a 2nd down and 6. Bounds in the backfield trying to carry the Dogs tonight. Bender in the gun. They look for the play. 3 receivers on the near side, including Garibay, Ryken Cross. Here's a quick pass to Ryland Strong over the middle. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
Pass complete to
I think that's all he's going to get. It was a little bubble screen on the inside. He lost a yard.
All those screens, he's had to just kind of loft the ball over the lineman to get to Strong or the receiver. He's never able to just kind of throw it in there quickly.
Well, that's also a little bit of a stressful, at least from our perspective.
Yes.
Going back to my old radio days, I'm going to have to say the score and the time all the time. 11-7, Howe in the lead, man in motion. Bender, handoff, knocks bounds, up the middle, and maybe has the 30, so a gain of 2.
Up the middle.
You know, I remember a game, Howe against Leonard, late in the season, much like this, where Howe had to get a win to get in the playoffs in 2014, and Anthony Hawthorne had, I think, 35 carries. And I don't know that Knox Bounds is going to reach that level tonight, but he's taking a workload tonight. 4th down, 4th and 4. Bender drops back, wants to throw, deep ball, left side, cross. No, there's a little tangling up going on down there. The ball's apparently intercepted and tackled at the 6 or 7 yard line. That works as a punt, so no harm done there. But I thought Cross might have been interfered with a little bit.
Yeah, it did appear that way. Maybe he just tripped.
The Wildcats.
But either way, it's actually better that this was intercepted because it pins Callisburg deep in their own territory than if he had dropped that, Callisburg would have had the ball at around the 40-yard line.
And they'll have it at their own 8-yard line. So, yeah, I mean, that's probably better than a Ryland Strong punt could get you.
Wildcat ball at the 8-yard line.
Really good field position if you're the Bulldogs.
Well, and that's him learning from his mistake earlier, because remember, we were in a situation like that in the first half where he just kind of threw it out of bounds, and we were talking about that exact scenario.
Yep.
Under center goes McAdams, toss to the left. And I think that may be Michael Hammer for his first carry tonight.
You know, and I wonder if that throw from Bender was
Zinski, I'm sorry.
meant to be, hey, go long, go to the goal line and see if we can catch a pass interference play. If it gets intercepted, then it's like a long punt.
Right. Deer Creek dealer stuff right there. 2nd down and 6 coming up for Callisburg. 9:55 on the clock. Howe leads 11-7. A toss left side, hit hard, but breaks out of a tackle down the sideline. Down he goes finally at the 33-yard line, and that may be Zinski again.
Tegan Barnett picking up a Callisburg first down.
That is Tegan Barnett on the carry, the young man who ran 59 yards on play number 2. And we haven't seen a whole lot of him since that first drive.
Really haven't, because I thought, man, it's going to be a long game trying to tackle that young man. But he gave them some breathing room with that long run.
24 yards on the carry for Barnett. Clock stops as he got out of bounds with 9:46. Howe leads 11-7. 1st and 10. Moving left to right is Callisburg. Man in motion, they hand it to him coming across. That's Zinski. The ball's on the turf. Howe has a shot at it. No indication. Fernando Sanchez says they have it, but no other Bulldog is pointing that way. And now I believe Callisburg is going to be
recovered by the Wildcats.
Given the football.
They recovered.
And Charlie Furr gets up a little bit gimpy, as I think he's trying to stay in the game. He doesn't want to come out, but he's got a cramp. He's trying to stretch it out, his left calf. And he does not want to come out of the game.
And for Callisburg, you go right at him.
And now official timeout as he hits the turf.
Injury timeout.
And we'll take one, too. When we come back, it'll be 2nd down and 11 for Callisburg. 9:12 on the clock. Howe leads 11-7.
Buying and or selling your next home or property should be an enjoyable experience. At Texoma Land and Home Team, our commitment to the personal relationship of each transaction ensures communication you expect, while assuring that we'll be here the next time you need us. We're not a big box real estate company by design. This freedom allows us to be fully at your service. Texoma Land and Home Team, Renee Nichols Broker, 903-818-1645. Texoma Land and Home Team, for all your real estate needs, 903-818-1645.
Second down and 11 coming up. Furr has to check out for one play. That means Knox Bounds checks in at linebacker. 2nd down and 11. 9:05 on the clock. Howe leads 11-7. McAdams is going to keep it up the middle. He's got a lot of room up the middle. All alone to the 45. Finally, Alcorn brings him down at the 40. Yeah, the 38-yard line. A big gainer by Scattaboo McAdams to the 38.
One of the few times we've seen them line up in shotgun tonight. Make the jet sweep and went right up the middle. There was a wide open lane.
Well, and Howe is, I mean, it seems like there's a Bulldog injured on every other play, and so they're kind of reeling from that, it feels like.
Bounds still in at linebacker. McAdams toss right side, Barnett. He'll gain 5 to the 34, maybe 4 yards to the 34. As Callisburg is on the march.
If I'm Callisburg, I just make Barnett your Knox bounds and just give it to him every time.
Boy, Knox bounds. If there's not a Bulldog player of the game that's not Knox bounds, I mean, I'd be shocked. There's a handoff again up the middle in a big hole for a moment. Barnett fumbles the ball, but they're going to rule him down. Bounds fell on the football, but Barnett was down in a first down run to the 27-yard line in Howe territory. 11-7, Howe leads. 7:46 left to go in the game.
And if you're Callisburg, you're going to bleed this clock as much as you can.
All of Callisburg's offensive linemen are returning starters except for Laney, the center. A toss right side. Barnett going to be tackled by Knox Bounds. A 2-yard gain to the 25-yard line. Well, this team, as good of a tackle and a play that was, this team needs Charlie Furr.
Yes. I'm still trying to work out that cramp.
This team also needs Garrett Rogers. I know they're not going to get Rogers back, but Furr is anxious to get back in the game. 2nd down and 8, 6:59 on the clock. McAdams goes under center, sends a man in motion with Jasinski. Handoff to McKnight up the middle to the 20-yard line. And a 3rd and 3 or 3rd and long 2s coming up. 9th play of the drive also coming up for Callisburg. 6:40 on the clock. 11-7. Howe leads.
Charles Furr is back in.
Furr, okay. 3rd down, and we'll call it 3 as they spot it at the 21-yard line. McAdams under center. McKnight behind him. McAdams going to try to do it himself. He stood up at the line of scrimmage, gained 2 yards, but needed 3, and we've got another big 4th down coming up.
He didn't get that. He's a yard short, so.
They'll spot it at the 19.
McAdams on the quarterback keeper.
So need to get a yard and a half.
4th down.
To get a first here. And it's 4th down. Malin, how big is this?
It's going to be the biggest play of the game, far and away.
Is it a yard and a half or is it closer to 2?
This is going to be a yard and a half.
What little crowd is here is at full throat. 4th and a yard and a half. 2 men in the backfield. McAdams goes under center. Moving left to right. And trying to draw Howe off sides, and a timeout's been called by Callisburg. We'll take a 30-second timeout. Howe leads 11-7 with 5:31 left to go in the game. We'll be right back.
It's that time of year again where our beloved radio guy won't shut his trap about how hot it is up here in the press box. Thankfully, the good people at Baker Air Conditioning and Heating cool this thing down in no time.
Roger, we're dying over here.
Speaking of hot air, there he is. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating has been serving the community of Howe for nearly 60 years. Baker Air Conditioning and Heating is located on Highway 5, and you can call them at 903-532-6255.
Roger! Well, if you're ever preaching DAT, now is the time. Howe facing Callisburg needing 4 and 1.5 yards to pick up a first down. 5:31 left to go in the game. Howe leads 11-7. And yes, our scoreboard is wrong. It has malfunctioned. But we don't want to fix it because they've been doing great ever since the scoreboard broke. 5:31 left to go in the game. Crowd at full throat. Callisburg huddles up, and their big offensive linemen. Jameer Brown in the middle.
Big 4th down here, Monty.
And there it is. McAdams sends a man in motion. 2 men in the backfield, a toss. That's going to be Dazinski. He's got the first down to about the 12-yard line. I think they'll say the 14-yard line. So he just got it as his knee hit after a 5-yard gain on the 11th play of the drive. Or that's the 10th. The 11th is coming up.
I think the Bulldogs were expecting the interior run, and instead they went to the pitch out. Dazinski. And all he needed was 2 or 3 yards and got it.
Yeah, that's a good play call.
This has already been a 5-minute and 10-second drive. And they're going to try to choke out Howe by just keeping it on the ground and running out the clock. McAdams, handoff. Barnett spinning across the line of scrimmage for a yard or two.
Well, and how big does that blocked PAT that turned into a 2-point conversion become in a game like this right now? It kind of eliminates the field goal for Callisburg. And even if the Callisburg scores, it allows Howe a chance.
Very true. Very true.
As well. So that turned into one of, if not the biggest play of the game up to this point.
Are you saying they should fumble the snap every time and let Cross run in every time?
With Cross,
regarding the second part of that statement, yes.
2nd down and 8 coming up. McAdams wants to throw. The throwback in the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. Zinski made the catch coming out of the backfield. And Callisburg is on the board. 13-11, they lead, awaiting a PAT. And they've got 4:12 left to go in this football game. And they're going to kick the extra point here to try to make it 14-11, a 3-point lead. And Sam Wilson is a good kicker. Snaps on the tee, the kick is up, and it is good. So, with 4:12 left to go in the game, 14-11, Callisburg leads. We'll be right back.
No one wants to talk about losing a loved one. The grief that is put on your family is troublesome. Scoggins Funeral Home strives to make that most difficult time the easiest. We want your loved one to be sent off in the best way possible, with your wishes at heart. Call us at 903-482-5225 or visit our website at scogginsfuneralhome.com. 903-482-5225. Our location on Van Alstyne Parkway makes everything close for your needs. 903-482-5225. Scoggins Funeral Home.
Who's your local plumber? Brother Plumber. It's good to know someone local and someone you can trust when your home or office drops the ball.
Main line break, 15 yards.
Brother Plumber is plumb professional and serves not only Howe, but also all of Grayson County. And you can save yourself 10% if you mention Go Bulldogs. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. We'd love to help. Brother Plumber is one call away at 469-968-4487. Visit us online at brotherplumber.com. Remember, Go Bulldogs. The Tech Wave kickoff is going to be a little pooch kick over the head, going to be picked up by Ryken Cross at the 24-yard line. Trapped in jail, comes near side. Flag down, Ryken Cross trying to get away, and now he's down inside the 15-yard line. But a flag is down, and usually those are some kind of block in the back or some infraction against the return team.
Back to the
Callisburg dodged the bull, as we talked about in the Michelle Carney Howe overview about special teams, how that was could play a part. Luckily, the Callisburg did a good job of pursuing Cross, not letting them get upfield.
So the officials are still talking about it. And this could back Howe way deep. Your Kingdom Inflatable scoring drive recap for Callisburg went 12 plays, 92 yards, and took over 6 minutes off the clock.
Face mask against Callisburg.
Wow.
So that's a break.
It's a big break.
And that'll put Howe out past the 35 to the 37-yard line to start this drive. And our score is 14-11, Callisburg in the lead.
All right, you got 4:03 left. You got 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning in your back pocket.
And you need to use all of the time up.
Ryland Strong goes deep right. Split out wide right, I should say. Cross near the line of scrimmage is a slot receiver on the left side. He goes in motion. It's Knox bounds, a snap to him, and he breaks free for 8 yards to the 45-yard line along the left edge.
Number 5, the ball carrier. gain of
Bounds
7
when he
on the
went over the
play.
left side, did a good job of sidestepping the guy and showing some of that vision and footwork to get the 8-yard gain.
They spot the ball in between the 44 and the 45. 3:40 on the clock, and it is ticking away. 22 on the play clock. Howe not showing really any sense of urgency at this point. 3:30 on the clock.
And Deacon Bender's still on the sidelines.
Bounds stays, and he'll get the snap, and he's going to keep it over right guard, bottled up, may have the first down. That'll stop the clock if they do have the first down. It's rolling right now at 3:11. They stop the clock there, and what's the call? First down.
Picking up a Bulldog first
At
down.
the 47-yard line. Bender still on the sidelines.
Interesting. They're just letting Bounds take direct handoffs.
This is going to be the Knox Bounce show. 3:01 on the clock. Man in motion is crossed. This time they give it to him around the right edge. Turns the corner. Good for 7 yards, and a flag is down late. Right at the pile where Cross is. And we'll have to check and see what that is. Hopefully it's not a hold if you're a Bulldog fan. And it looks like it may be.
Holding is a call against the Bulldogs.
That is not good. 2:53 on the clock. Van Derrick checks into the game. And that'll move the ball on the spot foul back to the 43-yard line.
Ball is now on
So
the
not the
43-yard
worst
line.
hold you could have in the world, but it still occurred in a play where even if the hold had it happened further down, so they would have had the yardage.
Knox Bounds still in at quarterback. He'll carry it up the middle, bounces it out, can't bounce it again, maybe a yard, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down and 14-ish, and here comes Bender into the game.
This may be a passing down here.
I think the idea there was to take Knox Bounds all the way down the field, run the clock out, punch it in, ball game. But that plan was averted as there's 2:08 on the clock. Bender's in the gun, Knox Bounds to his right.
They're going to let you go to a 2-minute warning.
And that's exactly what they'll do. 2-minute warning. Howe trailing 14-11 at home to Callisburg with 2 minutes left to go in the game. We'll be right back.
At Grayson Cullen Electric Cooperative, GCEC, we have been around for over 80 years and are governed by 7 principles: open and voluntary membership, democratic member control, members' economic participation, autonomy and independence, education, training, and information, cooperation among cooperatives, and concern for community. One of our communities is Howe, Texas, and GCEC is proud to support the Howe Bulldogs.
Well, Justin White, we have ourselves a football game here at Bulldog Stadium to close out the 2025 season here.
These games are a lot more fun to broadcast, aren't
Yes, they are.
I mean,
When it's 14-11, and even when you're trailing 14-11, it's still fun. It's much easier to broadcast these games than they are 56 or 66-13. Bender in the gun on second down and 15. Quick drop, throws it behind Strong, and it's incomplete. Third down and 15 coming up.
I like the thought. He had one-on-one coverage. It was just thrown behind Strong and thrown way behind Strong. There wasn't a way he could have contorted his body to catch that.
And if he had caught that in stride, he was split in between a corner and a safety, and he might have been able to outrun everyone.
Anytime you get the ball in his hands, he can outrun everybody.
Right, but especially in a situation where there's no one in front of him.
That does stop the clock at 1:57 to go in the game. Howe trails 14-11, and a timeout has been called by Howe. Let's talk about this. Jake, third down and 15. Obviously, this is 2-down territory or 4-down territory for Howe, so you've got 2 chances to do it. Do you try to run Knox Bounds to pick up a little bit of it?
Well, I mean, you've definitely got 2 downs, so.
And you've got 2 timeouts. 1 timeout.
Yeah, so really, if I'm Howe, I do think I'm thinking run here to just kind of set the scene of what you need on 4th down. give it to Bounds, see if he can make a big play, and if not that, maybe get it to Ryland Strong or Ryken Cross. Just get it into one of the hands of your playmakers so far in this game and just see if you can make some sort of a play.
Bounds is out of the game. Bounds is on the sidelines.
Okay, so
interesting move.
Ryken Cross and Strong are on the right side. Bender looks that way, throws it deep down the right side. It's got Cross all alone, and it's knocked away. A great play by the defender, and that's Hammer. Michael Hammer swatted it away with his left hand. Cross was all alone. Had he not got his paw on the ball, Cross would have scored the winning touchdown.
Wow.
Hammer did exactly what it's supposed to do. He's the safety back there. He's the safety valve. He saw that coming across and went over there and knocked it down. Because if it wasn't for him, yeah, Cross was going to walk into the end zone.
Well, here's your final offensive play, perhaps, of Bulldog Stadium 2025.
This could be your season right here.
4th down and 15. Everything's on the line. 3 receivers to the near side. Bender looks right, throws. It's up in the air. It's intercepted at the 45-yard line. Coming near side, Walker slammed down hard at the 45. And a face mask is going to be called on Garibay, who brought him down. And that, my friends, is going to be the football game, more than likely, as Callisburg leads 14-11 with 1:42 left to go in the game. And Howe only has 1 timeout and an injured player down on the field.
Timeout.
I like the thought. Again, you get one-on-one coverage to Strong. It was just thrown a little bit high above him.
He
tipped it, and then on the ricochet, they're able to make the interception.
Well, and again, the downfall of this game was a penalty that set Howe back from, 2nd and 3 to 1st and 15.
Yeah.
And I think that's just kind of been how this season has gone for the Bulldogs.
Aiden Torres was your injured player, and he's a starting center, but he walks off to the sideline now.
Now you got 1:42 left in the game. You do have 1 timeout.
I don't think you can stop it enough. So they would have to kind of make a Giants versus Eagles fumble mistake.
And the penalty takes the ball all the way down to the 30-yard line of Howe. Not that that necessarily matters, but it could in that situation if a fumble does happen.
On the end of the play.
McAdams will go under center. Everybody pretty tight. And he'll turn and hand to Zinski, who ran into a wall right at the 30. Timeout has not been called. Still 1:42 on the clock. And now the officials tell him to start winding it.
A first down.
They got a free play there.
He did. He got a few seconds.
Clock is winding at 1:28.
I am a little surprised. Do they need to run this, or can they just kneel it? Just as far as actual time management goes.
And Coach Smith's not called a timeout.
Right. He does have one in his back pocket, but still.
Clock still winds at 1:09. Howe trails 14-11 at home to Callisburg. And now a timeout has been called by Howe.
Callisburg.
Or Callisburg, I'm sorry.
Called it, yes.
With 1:06 left to go in the game. And Jake Smith will talk about it with his troops. Knox Bounds gets a big hug from Will Ingram, who is not suited up tonight, and in a walking boot. Bounds, boy, what a game he had tonight.
I'll be kind of curious to stats from Braz how many yards and carries he has had.
Braz even take his microphone up? No, he did not.
No.
Yeah, I'm interested to know the numbers on Knox Bounds tonight. What a game we've had. It's been a great game. We anticipated a good game coming into the broadcast, and that's what we got, Justin.
And this is this Callisburg team. This Callisburg team beat Bells. Let's not forget about that. They beat Bells 15-12 early in the season.
Yeah, and Howe's shown flashes of being able to be a good team all year. And I do feel like this is a game where they've kind of put it together a little bit more. Just up to this point, they're still down, so not enough. But still, I mean, I feel like we have seen growth from this team throughout the season.
Mm-hmm. You speak about the weapons you have. You have Ryland Strong, Ryken Cross, Knox Bounds, Deacon Bender. Defensively, you got Jameer Brown, Jacob Griffo.
Offset eye. Callisburg will hand off to Zinski. Wrapped up tight. Jameer Brown. Nope, that's not Jameer Brown. That is Jacob Griffo who brings him down. It's going to be 3rd down and 11. 54 seconds on the clock. And now Howe will take a timeout, I believe.
Well, the clock ran a little bit on that time, too.
And they're going to ask for more seconds on the clock.
You want more seconds?
59.
5, 9.
59 seconds to be put on the clock.
So 59 seconds is 3rd down.
3rd and 10, they'll say now. It was 3rd and 11 a moment ago.
Okay, so if you get a stop here,
you'd have probably about, what, maybe 15 seconds, depending on how long this play goes.
Right. And, I mean, do they punt from right here? I don't know. I mean, what do you do?
I mean, you could take off and run 70 yards the other way.
That's too dangerous to me if I'm Callisburg.
That is.
I think you punt it, and you punt it out of bounds. And then you let your defense.
I mean, you could take off running.
Yeah, backwards.
And get a safety.
For 15 seconds?
Wow. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. But the thing is, I mean, is a guy like Ryland Strong going to be able to catch up to you?
That's true.
Yes, he could.
Yes.
And
the answer is yes.
That's the risk. I mean, he's probably the fastest guy out there.
Laney comes to the line of scrimmage as the center. McAdams toss left side. Zinski fighting for 1st down yardage. He has it. And that will put the nail in the coffin of the Howe Bulldogs 2025 playoff hopes, as the 1st down sends Callisburg closer to the end zone, and I'm sure they'll take a knee here. 45 seconds left to go in the game. They lead 14-11.
Zinski got that on the pitch and he knew what he had to get and just lowered his shoulder and got it.
And now it's victory formation time for the Callisburg Wildcats. They snap it with 25 seconds on the clock, and that's it. That's a tough way to lose. Howe took their first lead coming out of the halftime break on the first drive after an 11-play, 63-yard drive. Everything looked comfy at that point, but then all of a sudden, and then Howe got a turnover on downs on the very next drive. But then Bender was intercepted. And all the way down the field goes Callisburg to retake the lead as they took over 6 minutes off the clock to do so, to regain the lead at 14-7. So 2 interceptions by Howe in the second half did them in.
Yeah, it was a hard-fought game for the Bulldogs. They gave Callisburg everything they could handle, but penalties at the end were what got them. And then just Callisburg, I think, just made plays when they needed to.
A dejected Howe Bulldog football team, knowing that their playoff hopes are over.
Hey, I just want to come in and say to ask for y'all to field some questions with me, because this is kind of a hard one to field questions for.
Okay. Hey, at least you're not interviewing John Outlaw.
That's a fact.
I told y'all that story from when I was your age, Malin. And at least you have Coach Jake Smith, who will never make you feel as John Outlaw made me feel when I was asking him questions.
We're not worried about that.
And Howe lines up for the school song. Malin, you might ask him about, the fact that Knox. One is injuries depleted his roster. They were already small of a roster coming into this game, but when you lose a guy like Garrett Rogers and you know, Knox Bounds was out at a time, Charles Furr was out at a time, you know, the injury, and you see Garrett Rogers on crutches. So I would ask him, you know, injuries played a factor in this game. I would also get his take on Knox Bounds carrying this football team on his shoulders tonight. And maybe the first thing I would ask him, Malin, is, you know, he's over there talking to his team right now and say, Coach, this was a really tough, hard-fought loss. This wasn't like losses that Howe's experienced in the past where the turnover, they were their own worst enemy. And tonight was a really good football game, but I would ask him, hey, what'd you tell your team just then? In a hard-fought loss, what'd you tell your team?
Yeah, because in the past, it seemed like those are games that...
And he's walking over to Malin right now. So we'll get his take on it and see what Coach Smith has to say.
All right, I'm here with Coach. Hey, in a hard-fought battle, we just want to know, what did you tell your team just then?
That I love them, and you know, that right there, that even though that's a loss, that right there, what we just showed defensively, that's how you lay the foundation to turn around this program, and that's how we want to play every single week. And I just told them that I loved them. They got about 15 minutes to go talk to their families, and we're going to go talk to them in the locker room and love on them again, because that's what we decided to do when we took this job in July, that, you know, we're going to impact these kids. We're going to let them know that we love them, and we're going to get them to play hard and act right in the school building, and I feel like that's what we're starting to do. We feel like we had opportunity to win this football game, and you know, it just it's kind of gut-wrenching to see these kids lay it on the line. You know, we suited up 23 kids due to injuries. We had a, you know, horrific injury with Garrett Rogers, and then we had another injury, and you know, the kids just kept on taping it back up and going back out and fighting hard, and that's what we you know, that's DAT, and that's what we've been talking about ever since July 8th. So you're just really proud of the kids. Just really hurts for them just because they deserve to win the ball game, and you know, this is playoff implications and it's round one. But you know what? I told them when I took the job, you know, the goal is, you know, whenever you win a championship, your goal is always to have dry eyes, and unfortunately we don't have dry eyes tonight.
You know, you talk about a commitment to playing hard, and no one has exemplified that characteristic more than Knox Bounds. Talk about his impact on this team.
You know, he was a kid that kind of struggled with efforts, you know, probably for the first 6-7 weeks, and then, you know, he didn't have a choice. He had to play both ways, and, you know, just so proud of him. Really glad that, you know, he's a Howe kid and he moved back to Howe and he just played the game the right way, and, you know, just really proud of him.
You know, you're talking about injuries. What was the true impact of injuries during this game tonight?
Oh, I don't think there's any impact at all, because every single kid, and I told them in the pregame speech that it's going to take all of us, you know. Out of the 23, we knew 19 were going to play a lot of reps, but I think we ended up playing all 23 kids tonight, the majority of the time. So I don't want to take anything away from Callisburg, but like I just want to harp on our kids, because you know, all 23 kids played their tails off, and I don't want to say it impacted at all. You know, we played the game the right way, and we had chances to win the game, and we didn't.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Nice job, Malin, and you know, obviously things didn't go the way he wanted to, but I tell you what, is he not the perfect interview?
Really
I mean,
yeah.
And he's it seems like the perfect guy at the right moment at the right time to come in here with these kids who needed that guy.
And I think the difference with Coach Smith, I feel like, and I thought about this earlier, is he comes in with a winning, you know, from winning programs. He's been around good football teams, so he kind of knows what the culture's like within a winning program, and he brings that. He's a young guy, brings some brings some class, but also brings some toughness, you know, DAT, and you know, that's something this program has needed, you know, with stuff that's going on here in the past couple of seasons. He's the guy to come in here and right the ship, and I hope he sticks around for a while.
And for a while, I'm hoping 10, 15, 20 years. Mm-hmm. We're in our Texas Land and Home Team postgame show, and you know, one thing that he mentioned there, that the very first thing he said
when Malin asked him, what'd you tell your players? And he told him he loved them. And, you know, that's not common. I mean, you it's not hard. I mean, sometimes it is hard. But for a coach to stand there and tell, you know, young men that he loves them, you know, I take it for granted because that's what our coach did for us. And, you know, it's kind of weird when you're when you're 15 years old, 16 years old, when a grown man tells you he loves you. But, you know, that's so impactful. And those kids will always remember that. And the fact that, you know, he's not just giving lip service. I can tell talking to him away from football that he actually loves those kids. And so a lot of hugs and a lot of tears. Malin's witnessing a big hug right in front of his face. And I don't know if he'll have a chance to talk to – I don't know if Dylan Patterson's still out here or not, but I know that's a big that's one of Coach Smith's guys, and it's one of Malin's guys. So I don't know if he'll have a chance to talk to Dylan Patterson or not, but I think he's right in front of him if he wants to grab him. I think now would be a good time.
He's talking to family. Let's have him get with family right now.
Well, you know, talking about Coach Smith, talking how much and just pop on, I guess, Malin, when you need to, but talking about how much he loves them. You know, a lot of this thing when you're dealing with 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, a lot of it's mental, a lot of it's psychological, you know, trying to motivate them and trying to get the most out of them and keep them. Here, I think
Malin's getting a big hug there, too. That's one of Malin's guys. Whenever you're ready, Malin. I think he's talking to him off the air. Either that or we're not getting a signal. Malin, we're not able to hear you. We're not able to hear him. Malin, turn around. Malin, we can't hear you. Oh, we're getting none of that. Or maybe he was just talking to him without. There we go.
All right, I'm here with Dylan Patterson. I had some words to him mano a mano, but Dylan, you have been such an asset to this Howe Bulldogs and such a good just friend and just amplification of what Howe should be. Talk about what Howe's done for you and just your impact of Howe.
Howe has done, honestly, a whole for me. I've grown into the man I am today because of Howe. Molded me into be a great human being, and I just really appreciate this town. I try to bring what I can off the field, on the field. I try my best, man. Like, I love this town. I just like playing my heart out for this team.
Dylan, this was your last game here, but you got one more game to really give it your all. How are you going to prepare for it? What are you going to do? How are you going to get your team going to fight this one last battle?
I'm going to rally the troops. I'm going to go into the next 2 weeks of practice just full force, just giving it all I got in the tank.
Hey, Malin, ask him, you know, Coach Smith said he exemplifies DAT and stood out as the one senior who really they can look back on in years to come, and ask him if, you know, kind of does that make him proud and all of that.
You know, I was talking to, and we were talking about DAT. He said you're the one player that exemplifies that the most. Just talk about Coach Smith's impact on you and what that means to you.
Coach Smith has had a great impact, honestly. I feel he's a great thing for this program, rebuilding this culture that we've so desperately needed for the past 4 or 5 years, dude. And I don't know, just his culture that he brings and his player-led motto that like he's trying to get us to go towards and we're moving towards. It's just a really great thing for him. And I think here in a few years we'll be a really good football team.
All right, thank you so much.
And another big hug from Dylan Patterson and Malin. Malin said at the beginning of the year, hey, I raised this kid. And, you know, for Coach Smith to be able to say those, you know, very gracious things about Dylan Patterson and the coaches show, I told Malin about that. Malin said, yeah, he can thank me for that.
Classic Malin response.
So great job, Malin. Great job. I know that was probably very difficult to do. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll have highlights and stats for you. You're in the Texas Land and Home Team post-game show.
Buying and or selling your next home or property should be an enjoyable experience. At Texoma Land and Home Team, our commitment to the personal relationship of each transaction ensures communication you expect, while assuring that we'll be here the next time you need us. We're not a big box real estate company by design. This freedom allows us to be fully at your service. Texoma Land and Home Team, Renee Nichols Broker, 903-818-1645. Texoma Land and Home Team, for all your real estate needs, 903-818-1645.
Here's some things to never mess with if you're not a trained professional. Caging a bulldog. Removing copperheads. And electricity. Don't get shocked. Call Rapid Electric. Rapid Electric is here for all your electrical needs. Just like you wouldn't try to become a pro boxer or president.
Give me a break.
You need a pro to keep your electricity humming. Don't get shocked. Rapid Electric serves the Grayson County area. Call them at 903-421-8100. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights is proud to sponsor the pride of Howe High School's Bandsman of the Week. Your hometown Bulldog alumni owned and operated business is here for all your seamless gutter and outdoor Christmas lights needs. Give them a call at 903-819-9183 and let them make your house shine really bright this Christmas. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights. Give them a call at 903-819-9183. All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights. Welcome back. We're in the Texas Land and Home Team postgame show. We have Jake. Are you ready for highlights? Or are we going to do? Let's do stats first since Braz is here.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Well, it's fine either way. Are you ready for stats? Okay.
Either way, let's do that. Let's slide the Braz in here, and with the Braz. Oh, never mind. No. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Jake, don't worry about it. Come on, Jake. No, there's no need. Jake, there's no need.
There we go.
Jake.
That's my intro right there.
Okay, enough of that stuff. All right, the Brass, we're ready for you.
Okay. Team-wise, first half wasn't a whole lot of stats. Second half, we did some pretty good things on that. Passing total, Bender was 5 of 15 for 59 yards. Unfortunately, we did have 2 INTs, but one of them was a good one.
That's true.
If you can have a good one.
That's true. It was like a punt. It was like a punt.
Exactly. Rushing-wise, 39 for 132. Total of 191 yards for the game for Howe. And 5 penalties for 46 yards. Penalties hurt us a little bit more the second half because we just had 1 for 5 yards in the whole first half. So that was a little costly back then. Callisburg-wise, they were 2 for 5 passing, 23 yards. Pretty much held them on that. Rushing-wise, though, 38 for 234.
Not too terrible.
Yeah, it really
59 of that came on 1 run.
Yeah, you're right. The second play of the game.
Yeah.
Penalty-wise, they had 7 for 57, and they ended up with a total of 257 yards for the game, which honestly, that's one of Howe's better defensive performances of the year.
100%.
Yeah. So there was improvement in that, and there was improvement in penalties, really, when you look at it.
Yeah.
For 5 for the whole game.
Yeah.
So as far as individual stats go for Howe, Bounds, 27 rushes, 131, and 1 touchdown.
27 carries.
27 carries.
I mean, that is Anthony Hawthorne top numbers.
He was getting fed the ball for sure. Cross had 5 for 17, and Bender had 6 rushes, and he had minus 19 yards, but there's a couple of long, big losses that he had. So, as receiving-wise, Strong had 3 for 52, Thomas had 1 for 6, and Cross had 1 for 1. As far as Callisburg goes, the rushing wise, Barnett 16 rushes for 123 yards and a touchdown. McAdams 5 for 41. Zinski 11 for 41. McKnight 6 for 29. And receiving wise, Zinski had 1 for 12 yards and a touchdown and 1 over in the corner. Really the deciding score.
Yeah.
And Wilson had 1 for 11 yards. So overall, like I mentioned, defense looked better for Howe.
I think this is the best overall game Howe's played all year.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I mean, you can say S&S and Bonham, even though you got wins in those games, but I think, this is better competition than those two teams.
Yes.
And I think they answered the bell even though, you lost 14-11, but I thought they played overall better as that they have all year.
Well, I think one of the key things you said early in the game was the fact that the roster sizes were pretty much the same.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that makes a big difference.
That makes a big difference.
Especially when Gunner's throwing out twice your roster.
Yeah, exactly.
In the same 3A Division 2. So we've got highlights. Whenever Jake is ready, we'll have him pop in here. I don't think we have a lot of highlights tonight.
Yeah, we've got a few. I clipped the 4th down stop that Howe had.
You'll have to tell me. You'll just have to tell me when I'm going through it.
That's it. It's just the touchdowns, and then I had the 4th down stop.
And you got the field goal?
And then, I had both.
Okay.
Of that stuff from the.
What about the 2-point conversion?
No, but we could. No.
No, that's okay. That's all right. So let's start at the top. Callisburg got the football first. They won the coin toss, wanted to receive. They took it at their own 34-yard line. The second play of the game went for 59 yards down to the 2-yard line by Tegan Barnett, and then he punched it in one play later. Goes McAdams. He'll toss it again, and easily strolling in the end zone once again is Tegan Barnett on the carry. And that was a 3-play, 66-yard drive. The PAT by Sam Wilson made it 7-0 with 11:14 left to go in the first quarter. It took 46 seconds off the clock for Callisburg to score tonight. And then we went blank for a long, long time. Howe took the ball at their own 43-yard line, drove to the 36 and turned it over on downs. Callisburg took it at their own 36-yard line, and they had to punt. Howe got it back at their own 16, drove up to the 28, and then Ryland Strong had to start punting because Garrett Rogers injured his right knee and is now on crutches. But Callisburg, Howe's defense kept standing up and turned the ball over on downs at the 32-yard line after 7 plays. And then Howe took it at their own 29-yard line, and they drove down to the 32 and punted. And Callisburg started at their own 45, and then they punted. And then Howe got the ball at their own 10-yard line. And they decided, okay, we're done with all this. We're going to start turning our offensive troops loose. So all they did was drive 15 plays, 76 yards, or 74 yards, and they ended it on this 34-yard field goal by the second baseman, Fernando Sanchez. Sanchez's kick is long enough, I believe, and it is good. It sneaks over. And Howe is on the board with 33 seconds remaining before the half. That made it 7-3 with 33 seconds remaining before the half, as I just mentioned. And then Callisburg got it, was unable to do anything with it. And that was our halftime score. 7-3 Callisburg when our scoreboard broke, which you can see still says halftime. 7-3 Callisburg. That was not the final. Rolling on into the second half, Howe took the ball first at their own 39-yard line and drove all the way down 11 plays, 63 yards, and it was Knox leaps and bounds. Handoff bounds, right side, finds a seam in the middle of the lane. Spinning towards the goal line, still fighting. He's in. It's touchdown time in Texas. Howe took the lead. What was that? 10-6, eventually 11-7 after a 2-point conversion by Riken Cross. And with 5:56 left, gave it back to Callisburg, who took it at their own 41-yard line. And they drove 8 plays before Howe's defense stood them up. 4th and 1. McAdams will probably try to do it himself. No, he hands off to McKnight. Hit at the line of scrimmage.
I don't think he got that.
It's a turnover on downs. Howe has the football at the 26-yard line. They took it and they drove 7 plays, but it ended up being an interception, kind of a pseudo punt, as Bender threw it deep, and they picked it off on 4th down, which really trapped them deep at their own 8-yard line. But then Callisburg's offense magically tried to appear, and they did. From their own 8-yard line, they drove all the way down, 12 plays, 92 yards, and capped it off on a 13-yard touchdown from Scattaboo McAdams to Zinski. McAdams wants to throw. The throwback in the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. Zinski made, and that made it 14-7, which ended up being our final score. That was with 4:12 left to go. Howe made one final push as they started at their own 37-yard line, drove 6 plays, got down to the 43-yard line, and Bender was intercepted by Walker, who has an amazing last name. And then Callisburg rounded out the scoreboard and rounded out the clock. Took only 3 plays and a big first down run. Basically sealed it and sealed the playoff hopes for the Howe Bulldogs for 2025. Jake Smith in his first year still has one more game left to go. It's 2 weeks from now. There's a bye week in between now and then. It is a Thursday night in Blue Ridge to round out the season. And last year, it was, 2 years ago in Lance Bryan's final game as a Howe Bulldog head coach against Lone Oak, gave up the most yards in school history with over 600 yards. And let's hope that, that team was out of the playoff contention at that point. And let's hope that, I don't think this would happen on a Jake Smith coach team, but, hopefully they will show that DAT and pride and character 2 weeks from now and show up and play a really good football game against Blue Ridge.
I guarantee you Coach Smith is not going to let these guys just say, okay, it's the last game of the season, no playoffs. Let's just kind of go out there and mail it in. He's not going to let them do that.
No, I don't think that would happen.
Also, they're going to come out the win, but I think they're going to come out and play hard for him on this last game.
Final thought, Jake Roberts?
Yeah, and I talked to you about this kind of in between one of our breaks, but I do think that this is kind of a loss that a program can look back on as like a character-building loss. It was a tough one tonight, but, the way that they fought and the way that they played and they played hard. And I do think, and I said it on the broadcast, that they've gotten better every week. And this week they almost put a complete game together. They didn't have that many penalties. I don't think they had any offensive turnovers. They had the turnover on downs.
Well, they had 2 interceptions. One which was basically a punt.
Yeah, and then the other one. But again, they didn't have any fumbles, and
right.
I think that's really what's killed them throughout the season. But yeah, hopefully in 2 or 3 years you look back on this loss and you go, wow, that loss to Callisburg.
You just stole my final thought.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Well, I guess
That's all right. Go ahead.
Well, just hopefully you can look back on that and say, man, this is really just something that they flipped the switch on it. I guess you're going to have to think of any final thought.
Yeah, I got to come up with something new. Justin?
I think it was one of their most complete games. I mean, again, unfortunately, it ended with a loss, but I think Callisburg, just as cliche as it is, they just made more plays, than Howe. But Howe didn't shoot themselves in the foot. Like they had the 2 turnovers, but they weren't in, at a 4th down situation, I believe, and then they just weren't at crucial times. We didn't feel like they were setting themselves so far back they couldn't recover from the penalties. I thought they did a good job of executing, and just Callisburg made more plays than they did.
Stephen Braswell, final thought?
Yeah, you looking back, you take away the second play of the game, the 59-yarder, and this is a totally different football game.
Yeah, and that hurts that it comes down to one play like that, and it really did.
Yeah, I mean, you take that away, and it's totally different.
Because that was by far their longest run of the game.
Yeah, right out of the box.
Right out of the box. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Malin Walker, your final thought for this evening? Hang on.
There we go. It's a heart-wrenching loss, but what you want from a program is for a team to get better and better and put a better product out on that field each and every week. And really, you've seen this from this Howe team. Every week, it's been improving. And I know you couldn't pull through tonight, but you still had Blue Ridge. You have one last hurrah to just go out and spoil something. Just go out and have a little revenge game for yourself. Just go out and just ruin somebody's day. But other than that, I'm proud of them. They showed fight up until the last whistle, and that's really all you can ask for.
How hard was it interviewing Dylan Patterson?
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. That was awful for me. That made me cry. But I'm happy I did it. Don't get me wrong, but that hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's one of your guys. You said you raised him early in the year.
That's right.
So my final thought. Hey, hats off to Coach Smith for what he's done for this program thus far. And I hope he stays around for 25, 30 years. Tonight, and I think Jake was right. I think this is a game. This is one of those turning point games, I think, that you look back on 3, 4, 5 years from now and you go, I think, things changed that night. And they put together almost a complete game. All of us would have a different final thought tonight if they were not able to punch it in when they got 1st and goal again tonight. If that would have happened again tonight and we're looking at 14-3 or 21-3 because you can't punch it in, we'd all be having different flavors of what we're bringing. But for really, I mean, one of the very few times this year they were able to get in on 1st and goal and move the ball forward. And I guess you just have to ask yourself, you're 9 games into the season. And after 9 games, you've won 2. But is the arrow pointed up or is the arrow pointed down?
Up.
I think we can all agree that the arrow is pointed up here. And, I mean, really, when you get the job on July the 7th, and kids that you've never met, and you can end the season, and it's not over, you got one more game left, but at this point after 9 games, you can the fan base knows that the arrow is pointed up. Well, that's a good sign. That's a very good sign. And the fact that he goes out there and he tells his kids that he loves them right after a hard-fought football game, that means a lot to me personally, and I know it means a lot to the parents, and means a lot to the community. So for my final thought, hey, I wish we had Knox Bounds for another year. Mm-hmm. But I'm really proud of the Bulldogs, and I can't wait to get back at it in 2 weeks. It's a Thursday night game over in Blue Ridge. We'll have all their flashing lights and all that they do, and try to contain them as much as we can. So for everyone who's been a part of this one, I'm not sure how I'm even going to turn the laptop off because it doesn't work. But we'll get out of here somehow tonight. So for everyone who's been a part of this one, including Justin White, Stephen Braswell, Jake Roberts, Malin Walker, I'm Monty Walker. So long, everybody.
You've been listening to the Texas Land and Home Realty Team post-game show. Howe Bulldogs football is a product of Studio 42. The full replay of the game will be available within minutes on this same link on YouTube, How Bulldogs football is brought to you by Scoggins Funeral Home, Baker Air Conditioning and Heating, South State Bank, GC Easy, Sonic of Howe. Also brought to you by Brother Plumber, Rock Hill Investments, MTE Fence, Centurion American, Ed Meacham State Farm, Rapid Electric. Also brought to you by All In Custom Gutters and Christmas Lights, TechWave, First Baptist Church of Howe, Kingdom Inflatables, Anchors Boat and RV Storage, The Love Cottage. Also brought to you by Howe Athletic Booster Club, Michelle Carney Photography, Texoma Land and Home Team, the Crazy AC Guy.
Turn out the lights. The party's over. They say that all